Harvey Sage.
Yo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Full Nerd Academia Podcast. I am your host as ever, Master D Mizo, joined as ever by my hope. My hope? He is my hope. My co-host. Give me 1 second here. Let me get his intro right. Hold up. Where's it at? Where are we doing? Where is it at?
Bunkai.
Daddy.
What up, dog?
Bro, I just love that. That's the funniest thing in the world. I don't care what nobody say, but yeah, I'm not gonna curse, but you can eat one. We're gonna start with that, and today we have a special guest, a longtime friend of mine. Definitely happy to have him on, and anytime he wants to come on, just let us know. And it's my boy T. Welcome.
What's popping? Shout out to y'all out here.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. You know what I'm trying to say. Damn it, shoot. We appreciate you here. Definitely have a great show today. I'm about to say, yeah, you put the camera back on me. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we definitely have some. We definitely have a great show today. We're going to be talking about Invincible. Episode 4 is the last episode of part 1 of season 2. And then we gotta wait. Do you know how long we have to wait for part 2?
Not a clue. I should have looked it up. I have not, sir.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I know both of you guys were looking for episode 5. I found out before I even looked for episode 5 that they're dropping part 2 next year, which is to me retarded. I don't know why. Just give us what we want. Like, nobody wants to wait anymore, bro.
Give me what I want.
Exactly, bro. We had to do that in the 90s. We had to wait for every episode of whatever we were watching to come out. It's 2024. About to be 2024. Let's be realistic. Just drop everything at one time. Just drop the bomb. Like Netflix would drop the bomb, but now they're starting to do that crap too, where they give us part 1 and then they give us part 2 later. Like, nah, give us what we want, please.
Some of that, from what I understand, has to do with like production and stuff like that. But at the same time, like,
the strike is over.
I get what you're saying. You know, you get us used to watching TV or watching shows one way, and then you change. Well, let's change up the formula, like, aka, let's go back to the way it was, and see if people. And the thing is, people still tune in for shit. Dude. And they still have service. So,
I think they're losing viewers, so they're trying to stretch things out now. They're losing a bunch of viewers, especially
that's
Netflix,
true. That's
Disney, everybody.
I would say Netflix, Disney Plus for sure has been losing a lot of people too.
Netflix is losing. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just re-upped my Max because I was like, why isn't it playing again? Or like I had to basically like re-sign up for it, right? Apparently they added a new tier system. Like they have the base, which has ads, so they have ads now. Then they got the premium one. Like for Max. For Max. Yeah. Since when has HBO ever had commercials, dog?
Bro.
I live in London now, so we have Now. And that's fucking, excuse my French, that's like $18 a month.
Damn.
It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah, because they put the base price with the ads at $9.99. And then the like more premium, no ads or whatever like that is the $14.99 or $15.99, whatever it was before.
I'd rather
and
go
they have
back
a
to
higher
cable.
one, which I don't even know what it was, and I was just like, I don't know. It's crazy, though. Crazy.
Take me back to cable. I'm over it.
Might as well have freaking cable. You're gonna give me
I was
ads.
thinking about it. I was like, man, at this point, man,
Makes no
They
sense.
tricked us.
They really did.
for real, dude.
But Netflix is losing views because their stupid selves decided, well, you're not going to be able to share anymore unless you want to pay an extra charge. Yeah, how about you can eat one too?
That's a fact. But they got trash though. Like, what's on Netflix? I've been trying to find something to watch for a minute. I'm off all week, so I'm literally been trying to find things to watch. I can't find nothing.
You know what? I actually been watching that. I've been using that for one show as of right now. Two shows. I've been watching Castle. I like Castlevania. Castlevania is actually pretty solid. But really, as of right now, I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on Netflix. Fire. All right. Whoever, if you don't, it's shonen. Just put it out there. It's shonen. I didn't know that. But it's fire. Like what you think is gonna happen does not happen. And I got put on by a couple of guys that I work with at my job, and they were telling me about it. But yeah, if you need something to watch and you want to watch something like that, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure it's a pretty solid anime.
Yeah, I haven't been into anime in a minute though. Besides like Invincible, but
And Invincible's not an anime. That's really just a comic.
I know it's just a comic. You know what I mean? So it's like I haven't watched an anime in a minute.
Somewhat, no.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm going to Japan next month, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get into an anime. I figure I'll just watch Dragon Ball again. That'll take me some time.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna start from the beginning.
From Z, I ain't going back that far.
It's like, oh, you gonna go all the way back to all? No Z, no Super, nothing.
If you want to watch anime, a good one before you go. I mean, of course, Dragon Ball is like the granddaddy of all, but it's like the best one to watch right now is the one he's actually wearing on his shirt, which is My Hero Academia. They love it out there. They really love it out there.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty popular out there right now.
What is
it? My Hero Academia.
It's basically it's a superhero like battle shonen. It's think of if you ever saw the movie Sky High.
Okay.
Like Disney Sky High, basically it's like the kids of superheroes and stuff. They go to high school. Yeah. It's more or less that, but anime version. It's pretty good. It's I really
solid.
like it.
I like the concept. I love that.
No, that's what I said. The concept is great. To me, I just couldn't get into the show. But it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad show. I just couldn't get into it.
I've been thinking about Castlevania.
Castlevania is solid. I'm telling you, it's really solid. It'll get very boring, but it's still, to me, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
Trying to think of something that's got really good visuals. Something that's really popular.
Demon Slayer.
Right now. Demon Slayer. But
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I like Demon Slayer, but like Jujutsu Kaisen is really good. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is up there. Right
Man, okay. All right.
What did you tell me about Chainsaw Man? You said it's kind of like One Punch Man. Oh, I can't stand One Punch Man. Oh my god.
I don't. It's not like One Punch Man. See, like One Punch Man really isn't. It's not very serious. It doesn't take itself super seriously. This one doesn't necessarily. It's not that it doesn't take itself seriously. It's just not like an actual like it's not a spoof or it's not a like satire. This one is just funny. Like it's kind of dark comedy, but it's also got like hella action and a lot of gore. So like if you're into like blood and guts and shit, like that,
yes,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the last anime I tried was One Punch, and I just could not get into it.
It's horrible.
And I feel that like it's funny to a point, but it's funny to a point, but like after a while, you're just like, all right, where's so I feel that, but we digress, folks. We got off on a tangent. Why don't we talk about some Invincible before we dive into the news? Where is so Invincible season 2 episode 4? What are you guys' thoughts? Initial thoughts?
I liked it until I found out that episode 5 is not coming out for God knows when.
Right.
I thought they took the week off for Thanksgiving, but now I'm just like, again, like I waited 2 years for this, It was
right.
a good episode. I feel it. Not the best to finalize, it was a great episode, but for that one part finale, I needed more.
Right.
You know what? I agree. I love the episode. I think the episode was great. Yeah, like episode 4. Oh yeah, no. Episode 4 is when Omni-Man and Invincible got busy. Now I'm about to skip like a bunch of stuff. I mean, nobody really cares for all the talking they had between. Like, it's cool to see that he'd seen his father and he learned more that his father had some other children. Yeah, cool. But yo, Nolan
Yo.
Grayson, he is a dog. That man put in work. With three Vulture there, he said, "Yeah, nah, all right, we ain't gonna have this here." And when he showed that sympathy and he started like, "Yeah, I gotta protect these people." We seen a whole different Omni Man, I'll tell you that. But
Mhm.
when he split my man's guts open, I thought he killed him. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "Damn, he beat the shit out of that dude." And then telling telling Mark like, "Look." He to me, I think I told you this, Maito, when he said he gave him the Superman. No, I told my cousin he gave him the Superman talk. It's like, all right, like this is not Earth anymore. We're on a different planet, basically. You don't have to hold back, and if you hold back, you're gonna die. I forgot who I was talking to, and it was like, yeah, I mean, it was a good speech, but it also sucked because like Mark was beating the hell out of that the chick, and he shouldn't have been. And I'm like, nah, I kind of disagree. I mean, like Mark is stronger than what's perceived. He's just like, first of all, he came from the strongest. I think he's what the strongest Viltrumite Nolan is, I believe. Of
Nolan
top
is
three, I know he's top three.
Nolan is not, at least at this point in the story, he's not. But his bloodline is a very strong bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And Nolan is, I mean, because I think at this point Nolan's over 500 years old, maybe even over 1,000 years old, I think. So the thing with Viltrumites is the longer that they live, the stronger that they get.
Mm-hmm.
And so because he's like high up there in age, and he had an offspring with a
Human.
humans, they have the genetic potential to take on Viltrumite genes and stuff like that, so they can actually fully get the potential or whatever of the Viltrumite empire, or the Viltrumite DNA and stuff. Whereas like his other son, with the Thraxans, with that Thraxan woman, might not be as strong because they aren't technically compatible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which he did say.
So, right. So like, so I mean, Nolan is
But
potentially
those
What's up?
those things, they age way faster.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
That's true.
would
That's
that
true.
mean that would that thing get stronger?
That's a good
Well,
point.
considering that considering how young that child is, but how old he looks in comparison to how long he's
Yeah.
been alive, then I think he gets pretty strong pretty quickly.
Right.
And from what I know of I don't want to spoil the comic, but from what I know of the comic, I mean, he can get pretty strong. I don't know if he can necessarily reach his potential quite as high as like Mark can, or even Nolan can, but considering he has that genetic disposition or whatever, like I think he actually like get pretty strong. But yeah, man, like once Mark finally just like hit the gas and stop riding the brakes, he was putting in work too, man. It was pretty wild to see. Like he was just like, he's probably right, and then just like started going ham on him.
He's such a kid, though. I don't know.
He is.
Just whip her ass. That's it. Stop thinking about it.
Exactly. Like, bro, like it's either killed, be killed in this moment, because they're not looking to hold back on you.
Right.
And that's exactly what he had to find out the hard way. Like, yo, she's fucking him up.
But why was he holding back?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you already know they're strong.
With that. With the hair too, man. She was whipping him with the blades and stuff. It was wild. Man. I was just like, dude, she's about to get this. She's about to, give him his last respects and shit.
Why hold back though? Why was he doing that?
it's the whole superhero trope thing. It's just he doesn't want to take a life. He doesn't think it's right to take lives, and then he feels like if he does, he's going to be just like his father, just like his dad. So he was holding back, but yeah, Nolan came in and was just like
Oh yeah, Nolan put thumpers on both of them at the same time. Until Mark's like, oh, all right, never mind, I'll help, I got this. But the second one, then Nolan, bro, put a hole in that man. Was it him? Did he put a no?
There's the first guy he put a hole in because he like slammed him into the cave wall, like into
when he sliced.
That's one of those things. That's one of the things that I really like seeing in Invincible because they do it a lot in the comic book. When they chop people's heads off, they just do one of those.
Yeah, I love that.
Bro, he
did season.
Oh my god,
clean too.
Yeah, very clean. I was like, yo, Nolan is definitely that guy. Okay, I respect the villain, not villain, anti-hero.
Right.
Then that other Viltrumite came back holding his guts in like this, and still
and
show you like
kicked him in the back, bro. That shit made me so mad.
Need him right in the back.
Yeah, bro, that made me so mad. I was like, nah, Nolan can't go out like that. Like, let him fight and then let him get knocked down or something. That made me feel better. Nah, that man got punched. That man got kneed in the back.
Done. He ain't dead though. He ain't dead.
No, he's not. He's not. I just didn't like the way he went out.
Right. He about to go on trial.
But that man is basically dead. He's a dead man walking.
Yeah. But I like it. I just wish, that waiting week to week thing is driving me crazy.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not gonna say I understand. No, I don't. I want just give me drop the 4 episodes, and then all right, then actually no, because then I gotta wait longer. Because if you give me all 4 episodes, then I gotta wait for the next 4 episodes. Nah, just drop the 8. Just drop it. Yeah, 8 to 10, whatever the number you want to give.
4 episodes is crazy,
bro. Oh man,
I'm assuming that they're only doing 8 then this season because this is
probably.
I guess this is the mid-season finale was episode 4, which is crazy. It's like, damn, dude, this is already mid-season. 8 episodes. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know the reason why they're only doing 8 episodes is because they're like longer episodes, and then, I mean, they're longer episodes. I mean, that's really about it. Is just that they're longer episodes. But I mean, remember back in the day when cartoons were like 23, 24, 25 episodes for a season?
Oh yeah. And then we only got
Dragon Ball.
Bro, the sad part about that too is that we only got like 12 minutes of the show too, because it was 12 minutes of show and then like 18 minutes of ads. Yeah.
But at least Dragon Ball came out every day though, no?
Yeah,
every
day at what I think. Damn, what time we had like
4
12,
or something like that?
Yeah, it had to been like 3, 4, something like that.
Well, we got home from school. I know that.
Yeah,
at least we had it every day, you know.
Yeah, but bro, the 12 to 18 minutes or 21 minutes of a TV show.
I mean, things right now. Things nowadays, they're just production on TV shows gets so expensive, man. Whether it's animation or live action, like I mean, Game of Thrones. I think at one point there was, I mean, especially for their season finales, like their season finales cost like over what was it? How much was it? It was like 20-something million an episode. It was like an episode. Like, come on, dude.
But the last season sucked. They're throwing too much money into the animation or whatever, and not the actual story.
Yeah, no, that's a discussion for another day, man. I have ranted and raved about Game of Thrones. Was it season 8, season 7, whatever?
Dude,
last season. It was just like, yeah, no.
Two dragons falling in love.
It's probably like what do you call it? It's like beating a dead horse because at that point,
nothing's out, man. Nothing's good anymore.
But any final thoughts on Invincible episode 4 before we move into the news.
Wonder what's next for the Kang like guy with the big head.
The Kang guy with the big head. Who are you talking about?
The brain guy.
Oh yes, yeah. You know what? Me too.
Oh,
Yeah, me
Angstrom
too.
Levy. That's right.
Yeah,
If that's not Kang, then I don't know what is.
bro, that is bro. That's MODOK.
I was gonna say that's MODOK.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
MODOK.
know. I'm wondering if they're going to continue on with his story in this season, or if they're saving it for like the next possible season. Just because, if I remember correctly in the comics, I feel like his story takes a bigger leap forward like later on in the story, but I could be wrong. And especially because like they've been with this show, they've been kind of updating things and updating / like moving certain things forward a little bit faster. Like this
I feel
whole
like the last
this whole
two episodes. I feel like the last 2 episodes didn't really have him in it. Like the first 2 episodes, it was like a lot of his storyline, and then how he has to defeat all the Vultramites, whatever. And it felt like the last 2 episodes he was barely in it.
you're talking about Angstrom Levy, right?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about Mark?
The guy with the big head.
Angstrom Levy, I don't think he's been in it since like what was it, episode 1?
Yeah.
Episode 2? Maybe? Something like that. It's episode 2.
Episode 1 and 2. No, 1.
Yeah.
Episode 1, because we haven't seen him since episode 1.
It's just weird.
Trying to think.
I feel like,
yeah.
I feel like
I'll have to go
episode
back.
1 that it was such a catalyst. Like he was going to be like the main villain, and now it's just like
Right.
he's not there anymore.
That's why I'm thinking like I'm wondering if I'm assuming this whole back half, this whole second half of the season is going to be all dedicated to him. But right now, where it is in the story, I feel like they should be spending a little bit more time with Mark and the Viltrumites. I'd have to go back and look to see what the comics were like. And again, because they've been updating things for this show a little bit and sort of fast tracking some stuff. Like I said, these last 2 episodes, like they were not, at least per the comic, they happened a lot later in the story versus where he is now in the story, I think. But again, I think they're just moving things around just to kind of fit their narrative, fit their story a little bit. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But
Yeah, I get it.
But all right, let's go ahead and move on to the news. So, did that come up, guys?
Yeah.
So this was announced maybe a couple of weeks ago, I think, at this point. But Dave Filoni is now the CCO, the Chief Creative Officer over at Lucasfilm. Basically, him overseeing all sort of Star Wars projects going forward. I kind of feel like this was like a long time coming. He definitely seems to be the more Lucas era / like not even just Lucas era, but the one to sort of like be more in for Star Wars. You know what I mean? Not necessarily somebody who's like, hey, they've got an agenda, or they've got, they're wanting to tell a different story away from the Skywalkers, or wanting to tell a different story but set in the set in the Star Wars universe. He is like prequel era. He knows like all these sort of like ins and outs of all the things that George Lucas wanted to do with Star Wars. He even, from what I understand and what I've heard, like he even like has corrected George Lucas on some things Star Wars like in the past. So like, everybody more or less kind of saw this coming when it came to, him taking over, because he's been directing a lot more. Ahsoka was all written, not all directed, but all written by him. He had a big part in The Mandalorian. He played a big part. I mean, obviously he helped to create the Clone Wars TV show. He had a lot to do with Rebels, all that sort of stuff. So, T, what are your thoughts about this? Are you a Star Wars fan, for one?
He is a part of the problem. Did not learning their lesson. Like back at all the shows that he has done, like Mandalorian was good for the first season, but even that, if you go back and rewatch it, it feels like the Mandalorian is just like a Grand Theft Auto type show. You just go to mission to mission to mission,
Mm-hmm.
and it just feels like too Disney-ish. Like the Mandalorian, the last season I watched, they had like weird 60s style motorcycle hover bikes. Like it was ridiculous. And that
Well,
is
that
a
wasn't
part of,
that wasn't Mandalorian. That was Book of Boba Fett. So
yeah, Book of
that
Boba
was
Fett.
different.
You know what I mean?
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
It's his vision though. It's his direction. You know, even
that wasn't all
Ahsoka.
just him though. So there was different story writer. There was a different story writer on Book of Boba Fett,
Mhm.
and part of the reason why they actually, I think, went with him, was because he didn't have any sort of involvement with Book of Boba Fett other than I think possibly the Mandalorian episodes, which were like the two like
Mhm.
more highly rated episodes of that season of Star Wars TV.
Mhm. But look at
but-
Ahsoka, the lowest rated. You know, that was him. You know, all these new Star Wars shows, a lot of this new Star Wars direction is being led by him and that chick. What's her name? Kathy Kennedy. I'm not sure if you saw the South Park.
She's just more or less. She's
The
just more or less like.
Panderverse.
Sorry for cutting you off. I mean, she's more or less. She's just like the corporate head, which that I will admit, like a lot of people have problems with her, and like I have problems with her too, just because she feels like she has, more say so over Star Wars and stuff like that, and obviously she does from a business standpoint, but at the same time, like I also felt like she definitely played a lot into like, oh yeah, we're gonna quote unquote Disney-fy Star Wars, and it's gonna be this and it's gonna be that and blah blah blah, and I mean sequel trilogy garbage, like
Make it woman. That's what they're doing. They're making everything. They're trying to turn a men's franchise into a woman's, and girls are not interested. And
I would argue
Dave
that,
Filoni
like,
is a part of it.
I would argue that like while I can understand your point of view, I don't think it's necessarily that Star Wars is just for boys, because I would argue that Star Wars should be something that a lot of people kind of see themselves in. But given that the original trilogy was definitely more centered around like a man, especially a young man, and what's considered the hero's journey, then like I can understand where you're coming from that standpoint. But at the same time, you also had a strong female lead with like Leia Organa, who was like becoming more of like a leader in her own right. Had they taken maybe taken a different route in the sequel trilogy where she's more in charge, but that's playing off of things that happened in the original trilogy, not like something that just out of nowhere there's just a girl who was she's related to freaking I almost said Senator Palpatine, no, Emperor Palpatine. All of a sudden she's she's related to Emperor Palpatine, and like she has all this power within the Force, and now the whole trilogy is centered around her versus like the Skywalker family, which is what this whole quote unquote Skywalker saga was supposed to be about.
Yeah, I get that, but Leia was still Leia and still feminine in her own way. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, right. That's what I'm saying.
Nowadays, that's not the message. It's all right. This man bad. Let's make it a full female cast, and let's go from there. And that's what we've been seeing, even in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Terrible, very disappointing. They made the show about that little girl rather than Obi-Wan. People watched it to watch Obi-Wan,
Right.
and it was terrible.
Honestly, that should have been about Obi-Wan and like Luke's relationship, because he was supposed to be overseeing Luke as a child.
But what did they do? They made it about the little girl. They made everything.
No,
they make everything in this new Star Wars era about a girl. They're turning it into a girl's. at the end of the day, this is spaceship. This is lightsabers. It's guys. Obviously there's powerful women in it. There are very good female characters in it, but this is made for men. And you know what? Girls do like it too. That's not a problem. They're ditching their fan base and they know it. Disney even said that.
I understand that. That's the whole thing. Is like I would say that like since Disney purchased Star Wars from George Lucas, there's definitely been a huge uptick in like fan backlash, and obviously for good reason. I mean, obviously there's a reason for it. Now, obviously there's the one thing I will say to kind of play devil's advocate for Disney is that Star Wars, in some respects, has always kind of had a toxic fan base. In so much as the original trilogy fans, the people who grew up with the original trilogy, meaning like they went and saw it in 1976, 77 when it first came out, and saw the original trilogy as it came out in theaters. Like when the prequels came out, they were all up in arms. Oh, this is garbage. This isn't my Star Wars. This and that, and this, that, and the third. Whereas like going back, and even some fans, whether they're fans of the prequel trilogy or they're fans of the original trilogy, go back and kind of see like, oh, there was some merit to be had from the prequel trilogy. But for all those years, for the 20 plus years that it had been out, everybody was all up in arms about it.
Agreed.
So I would say
it was still watchable though.
It was watchable, yeah.
It was still watchable. It did numbers. People still go back and still watch it. This is completely different. Ahsoka was Disney's least watched show, and that's hard to do. Like it did no numbers. Nobody's watching any of these shows because they're just straight up bad. No, there's like no direction. It's just pandering. No story, no nothing. What was memorable about Ahsoka?
I can't say that. Ahsoka definitely had some memorables, especially basically it's not even it was, I don't want to say Force sense. It was the Force of her getting to see her old master, and learning her old ways.
That was weird though. That she did that. She did that while she was floating in the ocean for 10 hours. You know what I mean? I don't know.
She was in the world between worlds, though. That's the thing, is she was in the world between worlds, and like you can't say that. I mean, at some point you have to have some sort of a suspension of disbelief, because yes, while she was in the ocean, the Force was probably keeping her alive, because obviously there was a reason for her to be alive.
I get it, but it felt cheap. It felt cheap, and they threw Luke in it so they could get viewers, not for the story.
Luke wasn't in it at all.
Yeah, Luke wasn't in it.
No, didn't she have who was she fighting?
She's fighting Anakin.
I mean, my bad. Sorry, not Luke. Anakin. When she was fighting Anakin in like that dream, whatever, it felt lazy. It felt like they just put Hayden Christensen in so people could watch it, and it failed.
The thing I will say, I feel like, and I've heard both sides of this argument. So like, people who were coming to it, watching it, there I have heard people say like, oh, I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person is. Why should I have had to watch all of Clone Wars and all of Rebels in order to know who these people are? They're giving me all this exposition. They're giving me all this and that. Like they're not even giving me exposition. Sorry, they're not really introducing me to who these characters are. I don't know who they are. I have to have watched all of this in order to understand Ahsoka. But at the same time, that was always sort of the narrative when it came to Star Wars fans in general. It was just like, like, oh well, if you don't know who Luke Skywalker is, then like, you're not going to understand the rest of this. Or if you don't know who Darth Vader is, you're not going to understand the rest of this. Whether it's the now considered Legends sort of continuity, the things outside the Star Wars extended universe, or the now canon stuff. Like, yes, was this pandering a little bit to fans? Yes, it kind of was.
Not
but
to
at the
fans.
same time, I would say fans. I meant fans of like the Clone Wars and Rebels. So like I haven't watched all of Rebels, but the parts of it that I have seen, I liked quite a bit. I was a huge fan of the Clone Wars because I saw that like basically as a kid growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So like I saw all of that. I when the last the final season of Clone Wars came out, I was front row and center, freaking watching that. So I was here for Ahsoka. But not everybody was either a fan of Clone Wars or a fan of Rebels, or had even watched them to begin with. I mean, whether they're older fans or they're fans who just like kind of like, nah, I'm not going to get into it. Then like they go and watch. If you were to go and watch Ahsoka, then yeah, you feel left out because nobody's, you don't know who these people are.
But the thing, yeah, go. Sorry, Lamont. Go.
But the sad thing, no one say sad, but the thing is like, all of it all ties in together. So like that's like if you don't want to watch it, you don't. I mean, well, no, it's kind of hard to understand. Like he was saying, it's kind of hard to understand if you haven't watched all the others. So like, even with the movies, Clone Wars came out after all the movies has finished. With Anakin, Clone Wars came out after, and it was just, and they brought it out. It was just because they wanted to know what happened in between that time between was it Revenge of the Sith and not Revenge, no, it was Revenge of the Sith and
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, thank you. So it was nice to see, like, it was nice to get that full on. We get to see more of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and then they introduce Ahsoka as well. So it was nice. It's also nice to see more of Mace Windu, because Mace Windu's time was kind of short, if you know what I mean. But and then they got the whole fan fiction of all that other stuff like later. But yeah, so like it was nice. It's nice to put, like, when they put pieces in there to piece things together. But like you said, like a lot of people don't want to see that. But for the only ones who want to see that is like real fans. Real fans want to see those things tie in together. No matter what it is, it could be DC, it could be Marvel, it could be Star Wars, shit, it could be Spawn. Like, people want to see those things tying together because it'll help people. It will make it make sense of what they missed before. So that's what it was trying to do, was make it make sense. So if you never watched this, it's going to give you bits and pieces of what's going on, why she was struggling with her character herself.
See, the way I see it is, it's the first 3 movies. You could still, so like the first 3 movies, it gets really nerdy, but the casual fan could still watch it and understand what's going on. You know what I mean? And with the Clone Wars series, it lasted for so long. But even if that's the case, because Clone Wars has how many episodes, that's a lot to follow up on. But even the case may be, if you are good at storytelling, that past stuff shouldn't matter. And with Star Wars, it's easy. It's easier than other franchises, especially because you have such a cult following and you have so many legendary characters. Now, a lot of people didn't see Clone Wars, but a lot of people know who Ahsoka is, and a lot of fans wanted Rosario Dawson to play Ahsoka for years. So this was easy. Now you add Hayden Christensen reprising his role back as Anakin. That makes it even easier. But the thing with this show was the dialogue was terrible. The storyline was terrible. It was very sloppy. It was all over the place. And it was very boring. There were scenes where literally it would take 10 seconds to move through a corridor with dialogue that means nothing to the whole story. This is a franchise where it is a lot easier than others, where you can make, especially with a huge budget like you do, and characters like you do, you could make something out of this. Like the girl, like a lot of the female characters in it really meant nothing. The girl, she was in her sky-rise penthouse for like 3 episodes. It was just weird.
Who was penthouse? I'm trying to think of who that was.
That chick with the black hair, the one who got a lightsaber right through the stomach, and then she survived an episode later and just walking around. Like I know there's a lot of science fiction, but let's make a little bit realistic.
The crazy part is, so I didn't watch the whole thing in Rebels too, but so I understand what you're saying on that, and I don't remember. It kind of threw me off to see her with the lightsaber. So maybe it's because I missed like a season or two of Rebels. Rebels was not that good to me. Like it had bits and pieces. I agree with you on that. Like it had bits and pieces of where it was good and when it wasn't good. But I don't remember her ever having a lightsaber. And the closest
It
thing,
was something that happened at the very end, and it wasn't like anything that they ever showed on screen. It was just that Ahsoka was going to be training her, basically.
okay, so yeah, that's the see now that I don't like that I don't like. The
Like, why
only
did she get a
saber,
lightsaber?
yeah, the only sabers that Mandalorians get, and it's not even belongs to everybody, which was explained in the Mandalorian, is the dark saber, and we have seen the dark saber before. So yeah, that one I didn't understand. I didn't like that. That part I didn't like, but it was cool to see her with one. But I was like, nah, she's a Mandalorian. Mandalorians don't wield
Was it though?
lightsabers.
Was it that cool?
No, not really.
Like,
No, not
this is
really.
why the ratings were so low. And this is a
So
it's a die-hard fan base that they should be watching whatever you put out. But it was that bad.
to again to kind of play to your point. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and I knew that was a huge. I knew that was going to be a huge thing with people. Was just like, hey, if we haven't seen all of Clone Wars and all of Rebels, is this going to make any sense to us? And the answer is no, it won't. Because I mean, you might know who Ahsoka is, through context, or even if you watch Mandalorian, you might have some sort of idea who she is. But as far as like who she is to the Rebel crew, her relationship with Sabine or Ezra or any of those other people, like you will have no earthly clue unless you watch those things. And to that, I say, like, yeah, that was really bad on their part to do that, because then they didn't necessarily introduce these characters to to the audience if they were a new audience, or to people who hadn't watched those things. That's why I say, like, to me, the show was very good. I liked it because, like, I knew the stuff. I did the homework. I did the research. I knew who these people were, and I could understand like what the through line, what the story was. But again, to play to your point, like I understand, and I would say that you were right. Then yeah, when it comes to that, they did not. The writing was kind of on the wall. There was just like, yeah, we're not. This is going to be more for fans. This isn't going to be for the wider like fan base, or even
I don't even think it was for the fans.
The casual.
That's what I'm saying. I think Disney as a whole has abandoned their audience completely. I don't think it was for the fans. I don't think it was for the wider audience either. I'm saying both. And the thing is, you could watch Civil War, Captain America Civil War, and not see any of the other Marvel films and still be like, wow, this was a good movie.
Right. Oh.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying Civil War was bad?
No, I'm saying Civil War was good.
All right, because I was about to get offended because Civil War was serious.
There's a lot of things that you need to know that happens in Civil War that happens prior. You know what I mean? And even in Endgame or whatever. But you don't need to watch those movies. You could watch that, not know who Captain America was or any of these motherfuckers were, and be like, wow, that was a good movie.
No, it was. That was to me, that was the best.
You should be able to do that with a huge budget, with Star Wars, especially when Anakin is in it, like I said, and Ahsoka, which is a popular character.
Yeah, top 3.
You should be able to do that.
Top 5.
You should be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to do that.
No,
and they didn't complete that.
I definitely get it. Like I said, I think this was like, in some ways, it feels like it was much more of a niche show versus being like something that's made for everybody. You know what I mean? Well, just real quick, what were your thoughts, Bankai, on Dave Filoni taking over as CCO at Lucasfilm?
I'm curious to see where he's gonna go next, because, like you said, I mean, to me, I think that whole Ray series is trash. Honestly, I felt like it should have been focused more on I'm about to say Flip. Jesus, what's his name? Black dude. Oh my god.
One?
No, the movie. I'm talking about
Finn?
the movies. Yeah. I think it should have been focused on him, honestly. That's just my opinion. I felt like that's what it was gonna go towards until I seen Ray, and then I started like, I thought that whole thing was terrible. All of it, every movie was terrible. I didn't like it. Ray was cool. She was a cool character, but it should have been focused
Oh,
on. Yeah, it should have been focused on the black dude. That's just my opinion. That's where I thought it was gonna go, but
they should have gave him the motherfucker. I mean, sorry for the French. They should have
yeah,
gave him the lightsaber.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
But
saying.
they,
Like you should have
what
been
did
the
they
one.
do? They made it
They
into a
did.
It started
female.
into something else.
Yeah,
I think you know what, guys? I think we should table the discussion because this is a good discussion, but I want us to get into the other meat of the episode,
Of
which
the
is from the
episodes, yeah.
MCU. So I think at another time we could talk about the sequel trilogy because I have some strong opinions about it as well and where I thought it should have gone, especially when it comes to Finn. So like we'll table that for now. Let's get through the rest of this news really quick, and then we'll get into the MCU talk. How's that sound?
yeah, that works. I can tell you right now, I'm already not gonna like the next one.
Are there T? Are you a fan of Power Rangers at all? Did you grow up with Power Rangers?
My little brother is named after the Red Ranger.
Yes, he is.
Jason? Oh, okay, cool. That's what's up, man. So I'll just kind of fly through this because I mean I seem to be the only Ranger fan here, but you know
No, I like Power Rangers, but like Power
I just
Rangers
said our brother's
Oh,
named
I
after
didn't
the Red Ranger.
hear you.
I
You said
did that. I was like, no, I need his name to be after the Red Ranger. I'm a
Okay.
huge fan. I'm actually
I got
looking for a nice morpher at the moment.
All right. So this is some stuff that popped out recently. So this is there is currently a Kickstarter going on, I believe, for I believe this is done by Boom Studios and then Amy Jo Johnson, aka Kimberly Hart, the original Pink Ranger. They have a comic series coming out. I think it's like a 5-issue mini run. Basically, it's like a what if sort of future scenario for the original Mighty Morphin team. Now, hang on one second. So this is just this character right here is her name's Olivia Hart. This is supposed to be the daughter of Tommy and Kimberly. This is her morphed as a Green Ranger. And then we've got, this is the original crew here. So we've got Billy
Zach,
still. This is him a little bit older. We got Zach. Zach actually looks a lot closer to like what he does in Once and Always. Yeah, Kimberly. And then this is like a middle-aged Jason. Now this dude looks freaking sick.
Nah, that looks fire. That looks
That
dope.
looks fine. This looks like he's been a Ranger and stayed a Ranger for a long time, whereas everybody else looks like
He
we
looks
just
like Logan.
Yeah,
a little bit, right?
He remind me of the last Ronin. Like I've been at it for a while. Like I'm no team,
Right.
just me, and
I
I'm
love it.
out here.
That's what I'm saying. He looks like he's been keeping the Ranger name alive, whereas everybody else looks like they've only just morphed for the first time. You know what I mean? This looks pretty sick. I think I have a bigger picture of him here. Yeah, there we go. This is more of a close up of him, but of all of those, yeah, he was definitely like. This is definitely like the cooler looking picture. Just thought it was really cool. This was something that they revealed not too long ago. Again, like I said, this is a story that it's a very tight, like I think it's like 5-issue miniseries. It's like a what if scenario of like what the Rangers would have been like when they were older, type of thing, if they were still Rangers and stuff. I haven't kept up too much with the like Rangers in the comics lately, but I mean, there's the story that they have in the comics is pretty cool for the most part. I mean, they go a lot of different ways and like a lot of different directions with it. Doesn't tie 100% closely to like what the story in the shows were, but I mean, like the direction that they go in the story in the comics rather it's very interesting. So it's also sort of like a what if sort of alternate universe, obviously, because it doesn't tie as closely to the show. But, otherwise, I thought that was still pretty cool. Any other thoughts on Jason before we move on? This dude looks pretty sick.
I mean, all the characters are cool, but turning the Green Ranger into a chick, what else is new? You know, now I don't have any hope for it because now
Yeah.
they're just pandering again. Once you
Yeah, I don't like
pander, once
See,
you
now
pander, you have the wrong people right behind it.
This is where I'm going to have to argue with that for, because one, they're modeling it closely after JDF after he passed away. In this story, JDF also passes away, and then on top of that, the new Ranger is modeled after his daughter, Jenna Ray Frank, which is why she looks dead ass like her, at least in this drawing. So that's the reason why they have her as a girl here, as opposed to just pandering to women. This is actually supposed to be modeled after his daughter. So that's the reason.
I mean, I get it, but at the end of the day, we want to see.
I mean, it's not like there wasn't female Rangers.
We want to see the Green Ranger. We don't want to see, a turquoise Green Ranger. We don't want to see a Tiffany's Green Ranger. We want to see the Green Ranger. As guys, as boys, we're sick of this. We don't have any superheroes left.
We still have all our superheroes, dog. There's still Batman, Superman, all that shit.
Batman's gay in the new issue. I don't know if you saw Titans. Have you guys watched Titans?
Of course, I watched the whole thing, but yeah, no, I don't
count
that.
We finally get a black Robin, a pretty cool Robin, and he's gay. You know what I mean? It's just like
they made him gay for a while though. Like it's been like back and forth with him for like what, damn near 20 years now.
This has been going on in the comics for a while.
Yeah, Tim Drake's been like that for the last, I think, 20 years. Like back and forth.
Going on like this for
maybe
a while.
10.
It's been for a while though. So yeah.
This has been going on for a while. This new age stuff. I think Black Panther. She became his sister. What, 2015 or something like that? 2000.
I think it was before that.
Yeah, a little before that. But they've been doing this, gearing up for this for a while. This is why comic book sales are down.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of. To me, growing up, Green Ranger was always Tommy. I don't want to see another person that tries to take up the mantle of the Green Ranger, of the original Green Ranger. No.
I don't care who's it based off.
I don't even care if it was a black dude. I don't want to see no other Green Ranger except for Tommy. Tommy is the original Green Ranger. Tommy is the original White Ranger. I don't want to see nobody else touch that. You can change the Blue Ranger. You can change the Black Ranger, which has happened. You can change the Pink Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, the Red Ranger. You do not touch the Green Ranger or the White Ranger. That's a gimme.
Definitely don't touch the Red Ranger.
Okay, so what about like
nobody?
What about
the Red Ranger changed twice?
What about like Power Rangers Zeo? The Green Ranger's not even the 6th Ranger, bro. It's just freaking Adam.
No, I'm talking like we're looking at what we just saw. We're talking about the
Zeo
original.
Was freaking awesome. What are you talking about?
Zeo was good.
Which one was Zeo? Which one was Zeo?
Zeo was with the crystals.
Hold on.
That was the one after. It's like season 4 technically of Power Rangers.
How much longer after the movie?
That was during the movie.
Power Ranger movie.
I was gonna say, I think Zeo came out like, probably right after the movie came out. But the movie,
like with the
movie itself is self-contained versus, the movie actually isn't in continuity with the TV show. It's supposed to be self-contained, its own sort of thing. So
I gotta find a better picture. Hold on. Zeo was cool, but nah, that's different. Now you're talking.
No, but the ninjas, they had a TV show too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. It was Mighty Morphin season 3, and then they had, I think it was like season 2.5 or something, where they had the Alien Rangers that were just like based off of ninjas as well.
Yeah.
So
I saw that.
All right, here, I'm about to share my screen 1 second so you can see.
I remember Zeo.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that's like we're not touching on that. That's different. I'm talking about like the
You're talking
original
about
Power
MMPR.
Rangers.
You're talking about like Mighty Morphin.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Well,
about. I'm not talking
in
about
that
anybody
instance,
else.
then I would say that like you shouldn't change any of them. I mean,
Well, you already.
they
Well, you
did.
can't say
They
that because
changed.
they did change them. They changed them. They changed each character at least twice, except for Kimberly. Kimberly's the only Pink Ranger. Uh,
No, Catherine,
Really,
Zeo.
it's not the
Oh
only.
yes,
There's
you're right.
Cat.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. So yeah, every Ranger changed except for the green and the white. That's the only Ranger that didn't change. Black Ranger changed. Oh, and the Blue Ranger because
I
Blue has
mean,
been the Blue Ranger.
a lot of that went on because of like contracts. The Yellow Ranger died,
Mhm.
Yeah, I
so
know.
stuff
Now
like
that
that. You know
the
what I
Yellow
mean?
Ranger died after she was done with Power Rangers. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
way. That was like they quit after season 2 because they weren't getting
Yeah.
paid.
Exactly.
Which I
So
understand,
like that's
but
that's
still.
that's something else entirely. But like, no, I see what you're saying, but just because like this is just comics, dude, and this is like a limited run, sort of like 5-issue miniseries. Like this is for whoever wants it type of deal. This isn't going to be like something that's mass produced and like
I don't know
you know
because
everybody can freaking
This-
get
But
their
this is
hands
what
on it.
happens. Look what happened with the Black Panther. Shuri, just for a few issues. Now she's the Black Panther in real. Now she's Black Panther in movies. Now we're not going to get another.
No, we are.
This is the
They-
stepping stone.
No,
Now-
they're fixing it.
Now,
Yeah, no,
now
Right,
because they
okay,
have
so,
more
but-
she's only
in
for
the-
that one movie. She didn't want to
I
do
was like,
that.
plus in the comics, dude. Like in the comics, it's Shuri isn't the only Black Panther. She's
I know.
just one. She's the one
They
who's
skipped
like,
over. They skipped over a bunch of them to a girl.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's because she was honestly next in line. Honestly, like, cause
Come
she's
on.
royalty. Who
Didn't
else
they
you
I was
gonna
gonna
put?
say,
Who else
They
you gonna
skipped
put
over
there?
mad people. And as a black man, right? I don't even like to pull the race card, but as a black man, I was finally excited to see a strong black superhero, like a real superhero that we can actually like look up to. And then boom.
you're just
Now-
talking. You're
now
talking
it's
about
a
the
chick.
movie specifically, right?
Huh?
You're talking about the movie specifically.
Well, they did that in the comics too. In the comics,
In the
That's-
comics, I mean,
that's
in
new.
terms of, like,
That's
the royal
new era.
family, it was
That's new era.
in terms of like the comics, it was T'Challa who is the ruler of Wakanda, and then he had to step down as Black Panther because he couldn't do both, and so that's why Shuri had to take over, and she was basically next in line because he's his sibling.
Yeah,
Now-
No, but there's a
Right,
bunch of
well-
Black Panthers before he even got to Shuri, though. At least 5, I think. I can't really tell right now, but I know there's a bunch of Black Panthers that even got to Shuri, because Shuri's New Age comics. That's a few years back. Black Panther's been out since the 60s.
Well, right, but I mean,
They skipped
Who-
over a
what
few
other
Black
Black
Panthers.
Panthers have there been? Is what I'm trying to say.
outside
like, other than-
of T'Challa and T'Chaka,
Right.
and then every other one. Bass is one, but Bass is before everybody. He's the original, or is it he or she? No, he is the-
fast.
she- yeah,
Oh God.
Yeah, she's the original Black Panther who became,
I'm
of course,
just
like you
looking
said, the god of the Black Panther, goddess of the Black Panther. Yeah, they really outside of T'Chaka and T'Challa. I don't remember seeing another Black Panther outside of
in
his son.
Jadaka, Bishunga. There's so many.
I was gonna say in Chidaka, yeah, but that's because he took
T'Chaka,
the
Theon.
kind of like in the movie he took over the throne, but that was that's who Killmonger is in the comics, but he's not royal blood, and if anything, he was a Wakandan terrorist.
I'm just saying, there's a few. There's a few that they could have done. They could have definitely went into a different direction than putting Shuri. And now they're screwed. Now they're screwed because no one wants to see Shuri as Black Panther. Now, what does that do to the Black Panther franchise?
I wouldn't say that.
I had some more
don't-
news stories, but let's just skip over them for now because I actually do want to get into this MCU teardown now. All right, So let's talk about it then. Let's talk about MCU as it exists now. So, T, in your opinion, where would you say the MCU went wrong, starting after Endgame, or do you feel like it started before Endgame?
I'm trying to think. I think my first real sign was WandaVision, but even then, I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to admit it because I was the type of guy where I watch every show, watch the YouTube videos describing it, how it links to the universe. Like I was heavy into it. WandaVision, I really tried, but I really gave up after Eternals. I really gave up after Eternals.
Eternals is terrible.
And realize exactly what they're doing and the direction they're going. And I'm watching how they haven't even tried to fix it, and they're screwed. And us as fans, we're screwed too.
So, I would agree. Well, for one, I would agree Eternals is bad, and I also agree that I feel like the MCU has definitely lost its glory. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely not what it was, and like to sort of play devil's advocate a little bit, like even the first 3 phases, you had some duds in there. There were things that weren't perfect in the first 3 phases,
Like
but
what?
in comparison to what we've been
Like
getting
what?
now,
Thor.
what?
The second one, right?
Yeah.
Both,
To me, all of them.
all of them
even
besides the first one. The first one was decent.
I thought the first one was
The
terrible.
first one was decent, but it wasn't like
It wasn't Iron Man. But at least we saw actual Thor. But at least we saw actual Thor and not this pansy fat Thor who is now a woman now, where there's a bunch of colors and laughter and what is this?
Yeah, dude.
Well-
So I think Thor: Love and Thunder was the thing that sort of broke me for the MCU. After seeing that in theaters, like, did I laugh while watching the movie? Yes. Did I enjoy parts of the movie? Yes. I did not enjoy the movie as a whole. And on top of that, the biggest thing that I hate about the MCU now is that a lot of the stuff that they have been doing, with exception of Loki, season 1 and season 2, nothing has been freaking connecting to anything or been leading anywhere. Nothing has been showing in phases 1 through 3, with little subtle details, they would show us that hey, this is connecting. This is all going to ramp up to Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
They told us they basically told us, for one, that was their first mistake, was telling us oh, the next big bad is going to be Kang. Like, why don't you just show us instead of telling us that? But then on top of that,
Kang's not a good character either, really.
I mean, in the comics, he's kind of a decent character, but I feel like, given the direction that they just came from with Thanos, Kang's not a big enough, not a big enough threat.
No, I will admit though,
not a big enough threat for something like having a full saga based around him.
Plus, Jonathan Majors wasn't that good either.
I thought he did a great job as Kang.
I think him as Kang is probably the better. He was definitely the best part of Ant-Man Quantumania. It was just him. Everything else in that movie was garbage.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that movie was garbage. I'll admit that. Honestly, I agree. I felt like they could have used a bigger bad, but for where they were, there was no way they could use the bigger bad because who's gonna you already had I think they fucked up because they put Thanos first. Who was the?
You think so? You have so many bad guys out there that you can use.
But you also got to think about it too. Everybody, everything is like he was saying, everything is connected, and that's what we were looking for, that connectivity to the Marvel universe, right? Who's gonna replace Thanos after him? Who are we gonna say?
Bro, you could have replaced him with Doom.
Yeah, but how are you gonna replace him with Doom without introducing a Fantastic Four?
Well, the thing is, with Thanos, no one even knew who Thanos was. Besides comic fans like us, we became fans of Thanos. People became fans of Thanos, and Thanos became a household name because the story was good. And they pretty much used a lot of the actual story from the comics to where, all right, now we know who Thanos is. Now we like. If you ask anybody 10, 15 years ago who this purple guy is in the comics, no one would know. But now it is because of good stories, good storytelling, good writing, good movies. They haven't been doing it. They can't do it because one of Kevin Feige's things, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but he literally said like we're going to make it so there's going to be more female superheroes in the MCU than there is males, and that's literally what they did. They're killing all their legacy characters. They're turning male characters to female characters, and they're not doing a good job with writing or anything. They're just pandering.
Yeah, and they said that themselves. So they're trying to get back to like, especially what happened with Jonathan Majors. Now they're trying to get back to like now we want to really get back to where we got it before. That connectivity. I said it wrong. I said it right, but I said it weird. Connectivity of making the story stick more like what we got before, because they know they see it. The numbers drop, and they need those numbers in order for it to continue. I would love to keep seeing the MCU because
go broke. But even with the Deadpool thing, I heard the little girl from Logan, I heard she's now in it. And given their track record, especially nowadays, it looks like she's going to be the star of the movie. I can guarantee that. If she's in that movie, she's going to be the star, and she's going to pretty much outweigh Wolverine and Deadpool.
I'm looking forward to that movie. I just want to see that fight at the Fox Century logo.
But think about it. They pushed it back for a reason.
Well, they also had to push it back because it was done, but they had to push it back because of the strike too.
The writer's strike, yeah.
They did, but they also had to push it back even more because of all the failures that the MCU is doing, and all these rewrites, all these pushback dates. Ironheart. Who wants to see Ironheart? You know what I mean? Who wants to see Ironheart? No one. Echo.
That's one thing that like I was like big on the fence about. Was just like Ironheart. Nobody really, she
knows who she is.
A newer character, but she's not a big character in the comics right now. Like I don't think she ever really has been. And don't get me wrong, I think as fans, like, come on now.
No one is a fan of Ironheart.
But they're also trying to put. They also are trying. Like what they were also trying to do is push the Young Avengers too, like which we're possibly going to get soon because
which is an all-female cast,
except for Miles.
Well, so well, in terms of like what we have in the MCU right now for like the Young Avengers, there's Kate Bishop, there's Kamala Khan, there's America Chavez,
Ironheart.
I'm trying to think of who else there is.
The Patriot.
We have
the Patriot.
I know, yeah, the Patriot, but he hasn't like actually shown up in the movies yet. Is what I'm saying.
No, he hasn't shown up in the movies, but he was in the Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but he wasn't in costume, is what I mean.
No, he wasn't in costume. Oh, you mean the ones that's in costume? Okay, well, first of all, you can't say Kate Bishop because she's not in the movies either. She's in the TV show.
No, true, but like, regardless of that, like, I don't mean just the movies. I mean the MCU in general. So,
okay, all right.
MCU, she's like full on like taking on the Hawkeye like persona.
Oh no, I take that back. I'm sorry. She's in the movies. I'm spoiling things. She's in the Marvels.
Spoiler.
Which no one cares. And she's in costume. Are you talking about Hawkeye's daughter?
She's in. It's not Hawkeye's daughter. It's Hawkeye's basically apprentice.
Yeah, but she's in Hawkeye.
The
show.
Hawkeye TV show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's suited up in that.
Yeah, no, he said that. Yeah. He said the ones that suited up so far.
All true.
Yeah, so we know that Elijah Bradley's in the universe, but he hasn't suited up yet. We don't know if he is for sure going to be Patriot. We hope he is. Same with like WandaVision's kids. So like Wiccan and Speed, like they were in the movie, they were in the show, but like they don't, other than having the powers, they haven't like actually like taken up the personas yet. You know what I mean?
And they're really, really young in the show too.
Yeah, they are really, really young in the show. So So
all
to, I mean,
female.
so to your point, yes, they are all female so far. And it's just, so far as I know, it's just the three. I think there might be another one that I can't think of right now, but like,
So they have a
that's
female Hawkeye, they have a female Iron Man, they have a female Black Panther.
oh right, that's what I meant. It was Ironheart. Yeah, that's the other one. So,
Like, this is ridiculous. No one's going to see it. And Marvel continues to make the same mistakes, and they're not listening to their actual fans, and they're just pandering. I don't know if you guys saw the South Park, the Pandaverse. Did you guys see that?
I haven't seen it, but
Dude,
I've heard
watch
about it. I
it
saw
because it's so true. Just put a woman in it and make it gay. In the Marvels, Captain Marvel's gay with the girl Thor. Like, no one wants to see
Oh,
this.
really? I didn't know that. I had no
I didn't know
idea.
that either. I didn't watch. I didn't watch
Yeah.
Marvels yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so
It's
but I have.
terrible.
It's not the greatest.
It's terrible. They turned Samuel L. Jackson to a shell of a man. He's not even a man. What we used to see Nick Fury as, we don't see that anymore.
I agree with that.
They
I agree with that.
demasculated him, but this
I
is
agree with
all
that.
on purpose.
They definitely in that, what was it called for the Nick Fury one? I don't
That
know. I
terrible show
keep
The
thinking
Secret
Agents of
Invasion.
Shield.
that no one
Yeah.
saw, no one watched.
Secret, yeah, Secret Invasion was kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't that good.
Secret Invasion.
Um,
was really good.
Did you
Yeah.
watch Secret Invasion?
It was bad.
Did you watch
She-Hulk
it?
was bad.
Yeah, I watched it. He watched it. We actually talked about it on the pod. The first few episodes that we did of the pod. Like,
So now-
I honestly tore it down kind of decently.
Yeah, so now
Well,
the strongest superhero now in the MCU is not a woman anymore. Now it's another woman who is a scroll who can change into everyone else's powers.
She's Super Scroll. She's Super Scroll, and Super Scroll.
She's
Well,
Super
we
Scroll,
don't
not
know
being
the
Super
real
Scroll.
identity as a Super Scroll. But yeah, no, I agree. And the powers they had wasn't even the correct powers, which that's the part that made me
No.
upset.
Bro.
Like, you forced the Super Scroll into the MCU, and you could have just waited until you dropped the Fantastic Four.
the CGI was absolutely terrible.
Oh no!
Oh,
you watched
yeah.
that.
Disney is
That's
just
my pick of it.
is dropping the ball. How do you destroy two franchises this fast?
Yeah, they did.
There's no
they
coming
did.
back
Yeah,
because they're
You know,
not
like-
they're not willing to look in the
So-
mirror and see what's wrong.
No, I think they're really trying to right their
I
wrongs.
feel like
now.
what they're doing now is they're really trying to right their wrongs now, but I think they're going to go about it in the wrong way. So they're talking about pivoting from Kang being the villain to Doom, which
The big bad.
probably should have been the case to begin with. Should have been the case to begin with. But
They should have did it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say not only that, but they're also talking about like, oh, we're gonna try and bring back Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, have the original three, or have the original Avengers team back in some way, form, or fashion. And don't get me wrong, would people come to the theaters for that? Yes, but at that point,
Hell yeah.
they're just
Not
pandering
really.
then.
Not many.
It's like,
Exactly, they're pandering.
like, right? They're like, oh, well, this worked before. Let's try to get these people back and try to get more butts and seats. Like, no.
No,
They already
Fix what
died.
you
Like,
did.
Captain and Tony already died in this universe.
well, Captain
They already
died.
died
Cap,
in this universe. No,
So-
Cap's dead. They
He's
said in
not
Falcon
dead.
and Winter Soldier that Captain America's gone, or that Steve Rogers died. So
okay,
But the
see, I don't
thing
remember
is,
seeing that.
you could bring those actors back, but the problem with Marvel, the real problem with Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and all that, they fired a lot of people. So now the only only people that are left are all the people who are activists who just wants to see the turn into the MCU. So you could bring all these people back, but they bringing them back in a panic. And not
Yeah.
in the positive way, not in, oh, we're going to write this way, we're going to start making this. No, they're going to continue to pander, and they're going to still make the wrong decisions. And it's not going to be a good story. They're just going to bring these characters back and further ruin them, further ruin the people who we grew up on.
I feel like they can fix I feel like they can fix their wrongs, honestly. Just
How?
with with the characters that they have. Okay, yeah. Well, except for one, except for Black Panther. Even though I think Sherry she did a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie, she did a pretty good job as Black Panther. But I like what they did is where they're gonna introduce. Like, I think they're gonna try to like speed him up or do something with the kid and make him the new Black Panther. So they can cast somebody else. But what they can do is now what they're is kind of like what they're doing. They should have just made Kang like Ronan the Accuser. He's there. He's here. He's leading into somebody else. For instance, you can take Kang and say, "Oh, he's doing this because he's trying to fix his wrongs of something that happened before. Galactus. Bam. Now we got Galactus, right? Galactus is a big bag. Galactus is bigger than Ronan. I said Ronan. Bigger than Thanos, the Planet Eater.
So why not even just talk about Galactus? You don't need Kang for this. Kang is not even a really significant character in the comics like that. He got discontinued a lot of times because people weren't feeling that story. Why even bring Kang into this?
No, I don't disagree.
They
honestly,
get lazy with the whole multiverse stuff. That got the story really lazy, I think.
I know, I don't disagree, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. They can actually fix their wrong right now. So, like, now instead, what they're trying to do is they're going to introduce Doom, bro. Like, why? Doom's a big bad, but I can't even say Doom's a sub big bad. I'm sorry, Doom's just my favorite villain. I think he's just. We had this conversation, Maito, about how
he's the man.
Great Doom is.
He is,
and then
he is dope.
Yeah,
and really, Secret Wars should be centered around him, not around Kang.
Agreed, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but I think that's what they're gonna fix it to now, where it's gonna have to do with Doom instead of Kang.
But then it's going to be a waste of Doom though, because look at the characters that are in the MCU right now.
No. Nah, I'm gonna have to disagree because they're gonna have the Fantastic. I don't like the Fantastic Four, but they're introducing the Fantastic Four, right?
Which I already don't like the casting with Pedro. I don't even like that casting. I hate that casting.
That's the thing. See, everybody doesn't like Pedro. I think Pedro's a good choice, but I don't think he's a good.
I don't think he's good,
Richard.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
at all.
I think he should be Victor Von Doom. He already wears a mask. Just make him Victor Von Doom. It'll make more sense.
I'm just sick of him. Get him out of here.
I think he'll make a good Doom though. Like, literally, all he has to do is just put on the mask. You don't really have to take the mask off. I mean, you without it for a bit, and then
Victor Von Doom.
Victor Von Doom. He doesn't take his mask off.
With the Spanish kind of tone.
All right, come on now. That's like
saying
Antonio
he
Banderas
plays a white guy he plays a white guy in where's that show? The Last of Us.
The Last of Us was terrible.
That was good. I never played the game, so I can't say much.
It was a lesbian chick flick. That's what it was. It was terrible. What was that whole episode about the dude from Parks and Recs about? Why did they throw that in there? What was that about?
I want to say that's from the game, but I could be wrong. I don't know because I had never.
Wait, which part?
They had a whole episode with the gay dude.
When they went through. I don't remember their names in the shows, but it was.
Yes. I remember the episode you're talking about. When his lover died, because he didn't want to take the medicine anymore.
Why?
Yeah. Okay.
Why?
Why? I think
this was our chance. That was our chance to have an HBO like Walking Dead, and they completely flopped it. They dropped it.
I don't think
they had that one scene.
It was really popular.
Huh?
It might not have been popular with you, but I think it was very popular. And I mean, I liked the show overall. You know,
me too.
Terrible.
I thought the show was good.
It was overall good.
Some episodes was bad. Yeah, no, I agree. But
some episodes was bad. It was only like 6 episodes, 7 episodes. How many episodes can you afford to be bad? Especially for HBO.
And it's coming from a video game too.
It could have been great. See,
I thought it was.
We're so used to shit that we forgot was great now. Like, remember like the first few seasons of Walking Dead? how amazing that was? And that's on
No,
AMC.
because I never watched Walking Dead.
You never watched it?
AMC, nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Bro.
The first few seasons of
Movie.
Walking Dead was really good.
Movie type.
And then
We had
it
John
got ruined.
Berthol. We got John Berthol strictly from that. You know what I mean? Because how good he was in that.
Oh wait, no, wait. No, I wouldn't say that. No, you're right.
He
It was
Shane.
that.
That was his first.
No.
really good role.
I know he was Shane, but John Berthol was great as Punisher to me. That's why I learned John
That was
Berthol.
after.
That was after. Okay.
That was much
John-
after.
John Berthol's Punisher. Boy,
Crazy.
oh my
Perfect.
I like I thought pause. I like Charlie Cox. That's crazy. I thought Charlie Cox was a good Daredevil too. I think he was the best Daredevil we've seen so
He was
far.
amazing. Amazing.
Don't do
All
that to
those,
me, Mike.
all those Netflix shows, great.
Yeah, no, it
Even
was. And
Jessica
then the movie.
Jones. I love Jessica Jones too.
I didn't like Jessica Jones. I thought that shit was trash. I think
I
that was the worst
enjoyed
out of. I think that was the worst of the three.
It
Four.
was the
I think the first episode, or not the first episode. I think the first season was really good. Everything after that was just not good. I didn't even finish.
I thought she was terrible. I didn't even like it. I didn't even like the first season. First season wasn't
I
that good to
enjoyed
me. And then Iron Fist was terrible to me too.
Iron Fist. Oh my god, shit.
And it hurts because I think Iron Fist is such a dope character.
That was so
And he's
bad.
a well slept on character, but it was so bad. It was so bad.
There was one hour of Iron Fist that was actually really good, and that was
Yeah, it was
the
him and Luke
episode
Cage.
in Luke Cage season 2 when they did Heroes for Hire. They did
Yes.
Heroes for Hire for Luke Cage season 2. It was just him and Luke, and it's them hanging out, their banter back and forth, and I was like, this is what fucking Iron Fist should have been. If anything, like you should
He's
have
such a
given us
nerd. They got the wrong actor.
Like, you should have given us like a Luke Cage show, and then fuck Iron Fist the show. Give us Heroes for Hire. That's season 2 of freaking Luke Cage, and it's introducing us to freaking Iron Fist. Fuck giving us that Iron Fist show, and we got 2 seasons of it, dog. 2.
I don't know why. I think that's what destroyed it all. The Netflix shows. I think the Iron Fist, that's what destroyed it. Because Luke Cage was great. I loved Luke Cage.
Defenders
Defenders was great too. Yeah, like the single ones was really great. Defenders was great, and then you got Iron Fist. Like, bro, why?
Did I watch the Defenders?
If you didn't,
I
you need to go
definitely
back.
watched
Oh wait,
it.
oh well,
I
it's on.
definitely did. I
I
definitely
want to
did.
say it's on
I
on
watched
Disney
it.
Plus.
I watched it.
Yeah, they definitely ruined Iron Fist. Oh my god, Iron Fist was it hurt my feelings so fucking
He was a
bad.
nerd.
So bad it hurt my feelings.
They
Well,
picked
so
the wrong actor.
the dude that they freaking used, I was like, why did they choose this guy?
He
Wow,
was such a nerd.
he
He was like
wasn't
a
even good
yogi.
in Game of Thrones, bro.
He looked like he did yoga.
He was good in Game of Thrones. Why did we pick like the
Yeah.
worst character in Game of Thrones to play Iron?
Speaking of, I don't know what it is. Like it seemed like ever since Game of Thrones came out, I see all these Game of Thrones actors, and I don't really like none of them. I don't like none of them except for maybe 2. And I haven't watched Game of Thrones. One of them don't count because he was an actor before Game of Thrones, which was the short person, because he was in that movie with
Oh, you're
with,
talking about
he
Peter
was,
Dinklage.
yeah, he was in the movie
Yeah,
with
nice.
Martin and Chris Rock. That movie's funny. But
He's a really good actor. Freaking, I mean, Sean Bean's already an actor. Like, was an actor before Game of Thrones. So, like,
who was
you know,
that?
it is short time on. What?
Who's that shitty guy that they used for Titans as Batman? I thought he was a horrible Batman. They could use anybody, Horrible.
Jorah the Mormont.
bro.
He played
Horrible. They
Jorah
could have
the
found
Mormont in
anybody.
freaking, yeah, no.
I had so much faith with Titans, and I really tried. Because I was like, yes, this is great. And,
The show was decent. No, you know what turned ever since season 1 it turned me off. But I would just watch it because
Yeah.
I'm a huge Nightwing
Same.
fan. Huge
Same.
Nightwing fan.
Same.
Yeah.
And I liked him. I liked the dude who played Nightwing. It just
Yeah,
felt
he did a great
too.
job.
It felt too WB11. And yeah, after I saw Robin kissing that nerd dude, I just turned it off. Just never again. Can't do it.
All right, so you got as far as I did, but he actually done his Robin suit too, and his Robin suit was actually kind of dope. But it was honestly, that show. We kind of jumped all over the place, but it's fine. Like that show to me was actually pretty. Yeah, it was solid. Like I always try to get people to watch Titans. I say, all right, now, yeah, first season was good. No, first 3 seasons was actually pretty. All right, so I'm gonna tell you about season 1. Season 1 I didn't like because I didn't like how Donna Troy went out. Like Donna Troy went out like a punk. Like bro, like Donna Troy gets electrocuted and dies. Get out of here. First of No, that was season 1.
Damn. It's
She
been a
died
long
in
time.
season 1. Garth died in season 1. I didn't really care for Garth anyway. I think the Garth suit was dope, but I didn't care for Garth. Wait, no. Yeah, no, it was season 1 because they brought her back later. Because she was stuck in between worlds. Season 2 was dope because that's when we got Jason. Jason was dope. It was nice to see the second Robin because we never get to see the second Robin outside
It was
of
cool,
under
but
Red Hood.
he was. I didn't like him as Red Hood though.
Yeah, I didn't like him
I
as
just
Red
liked
Hood
it.
either.
I just like to see when
I
he
like
got beat
Chance
by.
Robin, not as Red Hood.
I
season
hated
3
him
when he
as
got
Red
beat with
Hood,
the
and he
crow?
was like 3 feet tall too. So it's like Red Hood's not that short.
Yeah. No, I
You
agree.
look like a
But
little. You look like a little midget.
bro, it's funny 'cause you said that because like then when you see him and Tim Drake together, Tim Drake is taller than him in that show, and it doesn't make sense because Tim Drake's not supposed to be taller than Jason Todd.
He's not supposed to
But-
be tall like in general because he's only
No,
like
exactly.
probably
But
like
it's
5'9", 5'10". Everybody
Ooh.
else is like 6 foot and above. I'm talking about Tim.
actually that's not true. I've learned that the hard way. So I had to look up everybody's heights. I said 6 man. Superman is 6'4". Batman is 6'2".
Mhm.
Grayson, that's what I have to call him. Grayson is actually 5'11". I thought he was 6 foot. No, he's 5'11", which makes no
He's
sense
He's
to
probably
me.
6. I mean, he's 6 foot on a good day. You know what I'm saying? Like
Bro,
Give
I
me a
don't-
break. I'm 5'11".
probably 6. He's probably 6 foot with the boots on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only way. Well, they had to extend his height for being Batman too, because there's no way you're gonna be a short ass Batman. There's no way you got Batman running around as 5'11". Like, bro, like who is this? Damian Wayne running around? But yeah, like I had to look that stuff up. But yeah, like outside of that, I'm gonna say like if you watch the show, it's a pretty decent show. It's some things that doesn't make any sense and it's stupid, but literally my favorite part of the show, outside of actually getting to see a full-on 4th season, I think it was 4th season of Nightwing, is the fact that you get to see him getting beat with a crowbar, which is absolutely
Yeah, that's
hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious. I got to watch a real scene of him getting beat with a crowbar, even though like you don't see his face, but you see it from a distance in the amusement mall. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Anybody knows I don't like Jason Todd. I don't like Jason Todd. I don't like Tim Drake. So watching Jason Todd
Well,
get beat up,
People
with a
didn't
crowbar,
like
I watch
Jason
every
Todd.
time.
That's why he got killed.
I'm
Bro,
frozen
they
over
did
there.
wrong. Yes, you are.
Okay.
But yeah, like watching Jason Todd get beat with a crowbar in live action is probably like my favorite scene. Outside of getting to see it in Under the Radar too. I'm smiling. Yes, I am.
You're an ass. But so we deviated quite a bit here from the MCU talk. So like,
I should
trying to
pay my
think.
own.
I've already on this channel. I've already ranted about the Eternals and how they fumbled the bag on that hard.
Oh yeah,
Fumbled
no, we
hard.
definitely talked about that.
That
So
would have
much
been
shit
the
they could
way
have
for
done
them
with
to.
that.
That would have been
The
the way
mutants.
for them to explain the mutants. You know what I mean?
Bro, and then
But-
we don't even get mutants out of it.
No, we don't. We get freaking Celestials, or not Celestials. We get the Eternals are actually robots, and it's just like,
Huh? Like
What?
what?
It's all retarded.
yeah, it's so stupid.
And then another cool thing the only cool thing out of Eternals that they did, and the only reason why I liked it because it reminds me of
You liked it?
fuck no, I thought the movie was terrible. That's the only thing I like out of the movie.
I fell asleep
Was-
in that movie at the theater.
I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched that shit right at home. I was no way I was wasting that money.
I'm pissed. I saw it IMAX.
Oh, you passed. Oh, I feel bad for you. I
Yeah.
watched that shit right on my TV when it came on.
That
Disney
and
Plus.
that and the Flash.
Oh yeah, you definitely wasted fucking money watching the Flash. I would
Yeah,
never.
tight. Tight.
Ezra Miller, you would
Tight.
never pay me to watch a
Tight.
movie except for Fantastic Beasts, because I think those are good movies. I'm not talking about those though, but
What was
Eternals, the
the part
only
of
thing
Eternals that you
is
liked?
the cutscene, because they introduced Thanos' brother,
Yeah.
half brother.
Moon Knight?
Yeah,
I thought it
and
was
the only
Moon
reason
Knight.
why I like that part is because it gave me
who?
that throwback to
I mean, not Moon Knight.
No, it's not Moon
Not
Knight.
Moon
It's I don't remember his name. Oh my god!
Oh, you're
But
talking
it's
about
Thanos' half brother. Harry
Black
Styles
Man.
plays it. Yeah, Harry Styles plays him.
Oh no, you're talking about You're talking about Star Fox. You're talking about Eros.
Yeah, Eros. There we go. And the only reason why I like that part is because it just gave me that throwback of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, which I thought was a great game.
Okay, but okay, so and this is why that cutscene makes no damn sense, right? Okay, so we know that Eros is.
Can you
an
remind me of the
eternal.
cutscene? I'm sorry.
So it's I can't remember exactly what happens, but I believe it's Cersei is on their freaking spaceship, the Domo or whatever the hell it's called, right? And then I think his name's Pip the Troll. He comes out of nowhere, he like teleports in, and he basically does like a full on like introduction to Harry Styles as Star Fox, aka Eros. So, and he's like he's an Eternal, and he's the half brother of Thanos, and blah 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 or whatever. He's the brother of Thanos. Here he is, Star Fox, right? Here's why that scene makes no sense, because Star Fox, Eros, from the context of this movie, is an Eternal. And if in this movie he's a freaking robot, are you trying to tell me that the whole time Thanos is a robot? Because he's the brother of freaking Thanos.
Yeah, that
How?
doesn't make any sense.
Make
And
no
then
sense.
Eros is supposed to be, isn't he supposed to be like a part? I don't want to say a part, but he's part of like the Inhumans. Is that the same Eros, right?
No. He is an Eternal, and Thanos is technically an Eternal too. But he's an Eternal that was born with a deviant gene. That's why he looks the way he does.
Mhm.
Oh damn! Which
So-
one is it?
They just wanted to rush Harry Styles in the universe.
They wanted to do that, which is stupid. Like, I get it. Like, having Harry Styles play Eros would make sense in the MCU.
That was
At the
it.
same time, why rush him into there? Why just throw that in? And then again, the whole movie in general, the whole movie is dumb because, like, overall, it has no weight in the MCU at all, because we haven't seen anything happen with the freaking the dead Eternal in the middle of the freaking ocean. Nobody said anything about Arishem the Judge just appearing out of nowhere. Like, again, no freaking Eternals have showed up at all, like, anywhere in any of the other MCU movies. And again, they dropped the ball when it came to, like, hey, this is a way for us to introduce what the X gene is and, like, you know, how mutants come to be in the MCU. And then maybe we could drop a couple of mutants in here. No. The freaking Eternals are robots. Robots made by the Celestials.
That blew my mind at the beginning of the movie. Oh, we've been through here such time in history.
7,000 years.
So you're telling me you literally could have, like, and you're supposed to be protecting the Earth. You're telling me you could have stopped this whole ordeal, everything that happened, and then instead you just let the shit happen. You're like,
Right.
bro, you guys are not the Watchers. The Watcher. You guys are not Zatu.
The movie made no sense.
It made no sense whatsoever.
What was the people got to ask why more? So what was the point of making this movie? Especially around that time, you were connecting so many different universes and all this other stuff. What was the point of the Eternals?
Bro, and the sad part is it came out after everything happened. It
What
was
was the
after
point of it?
Endgame. Literally,
What-
there was no point of that movie.
No point of it. So why did they release it?
That's what I want to know. Like,
Why did they make it?
That shit made no sense to me. Like, you took some
So
unknown
this is the
characters.
reason why they made it. Go ahead, bro. My bad. I'll tell you.
No, they were trying to bank off the. I feel like they were just trying to bank off trying to make more unknown characters known. Like, for instance, James Gunn did. To me, I think. And you, Michael, you'll agree with these too. James Gunn did an amazing job with Guardians of the Galaxy, lesser known characters who became really popular. So I think they were trying to bank off. Oh well, maybe we can do this with the Eternals. Drop the ball.
They're trying
Eternals,
to do
the one
their
like
first gay character.
Yes, yes, he is the first, and that was that pissed
I'm
me off.
telling
I
you.
didn't.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
this is the reason. No, this is the reason why they made this movie, right? They had a very talented filmmaker.
Who's
They had a
that
very
character?
talented filmmaker. They said, "Hey, we're trying to do this with the MCU. We think that maybe you could, you know, put some asses in seats. You were just super successful with your movie. You know, we want to kind of bank on your success. Why don't you make this movie for us? You know, and we'll see if we can get some asses in seats, make some money. And this is going to be the biggest cast ever. It's going to be the biggest star-studded cast that you have, or that we have. And yeah, just like go for it. And like, don't get me wrong, the movie looked freaking amazing, but had no sort of substance whatsoever. It was absolutely trash. And again, to our collective point, there was no freaking reason for it to be made. They didn't make any points in the movie for one. Like, there was no point to the movie. There was no point to the movie other than showing us that Cersei loves humans. All the rest of the Eternals are off doing their own thing, and there's one who ended up being a jackass in the end. Make that three of them. I take that back, because there was three of them that freaking like turned to his side. So like, there was no weight to it. There was no like what's the gravity of the situation? Yeah, okay, the Earth might explode because there's going to be a celestial being born out of this planet, but like, it got stopped, and like, we don't know what happened after that because nobody says shit about it. Nobody says anything about it.
Nope.
And on top of that, there was already a thing with us. This is the one thing from Guardians 2 that like, this also had no freaking weight over like the larger MCU or even the planet Earth in general. The plot of that was that Ego, who was a Celestial, was trying to basically turn Earth and other planets, into a conduit for his power or whatever. You see this big. I remember that big blue like wall of goo or whatever was starting to take over that small town.
I actually did not see
And-
two.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry for the spoilers. I mean,
Okay.
that's the one thing of that there's, it has no implications going further into the MCU. Nobody's talked about it since, and this also has to do with the Celestial. So at this point, you're telling us the Celestials are gods, but anything that they do within the MCU has no weight over the Earth, the universe, or anything going forward. And these are supposed to be gods in the MCU, and they're supposed to be gods in Marvel Comics. Like, come on now, give us some more weight for these guys. Like, they're not being taken seriously enough. You know what I'm saying?
If they follow the actual comics and not try to pander to everybody, to the people that aren't their fans, then their job would be easy, because that's what their job was easy at first. Now everything is bad.
Still,
Writing, the animation, the characters. No one cares about any of these characters. What like the new Captain America? They're about to can that movie. They're on the third rewrite right now because it's so bad.
Well, the thing I will say is that they didn't stick to. They for sure this in the first not phase but first saga, the Infinity Saga. Not a lot of it was sticking to stuff from the comics. Like, they took ideas from that, from the comics, and some of the stuff, and at least as far as like the characters go, they stuck close to the comics with the characters' like personalities, and then some parts of the storylines they picked and choose things that they wanted from it, but they didn't stick directly to it.
Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. But they also didn't make Ironheart the new Iron Man either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
True.
They're going in a bad direction, and they haven't learned their lesson. And they're going to continue to make the same mistakes but worse, because they don't have anyone that's a real comic book fan in there. It's all freaking protesters. It's the reason why everything has been so bad lately.
Wait, didn't Kevin Smith write? No, he only did the TV shows. He didn't do none of the movies, right?
He didn't do any of the TV shows either. Kevin Smith, no.
No. I'm
Yes,
not talking about TV shows.
Kevin
He didn't touch
Feige?
nothing Marvel wise. Yeah. No, not Kevin Feige. I meant Kevin Smith. He didn't touch none of the. He didn't touch none of the nothing with Marvel though, right?
No, he
I
hasn't
think
done
he,
anything Marvel
liaison.
other than comic books.
Yeah,
Okay.
comic books. But I
Alright.
think, correct me if I'm wrong. I think even they ran him out of Marvel too, because he wasn't getting on with the agenda at Marvel as well. Like, there's a reason why he's
No, I
not
don't
there
think-
anymore.
I don't. He was never a full on he wasn't like a regular writer for Marvel. It was just
Yeah, like he liaison.
No, he pitched. He had pitched. As far as the comics go, he had pitched like stories for the comics.
Mhm.
He had some runs on certain characters, and then once his stories were done, they were done. He was just he was a commissioned writer. He wasn't like an in-house writer. And as far as like MCU goes, he hasn't had anything to do with any of those movies at all. He hasn't had anything to do with writing any of the movies or acting in any of them or anything like that. The only thing Kevin Smith in any of the MCU movies is the script for Mallrats and Captain Marvel, the first movie. That's the only thing. It's the only time he shows up at all in any form in the MCU.
Okay, no,
he had
I had
lot-
to ask.
He had more to do with the CW the
Flash,
TV
Green
shows.
Arrow.
But
Yeah.
he just directed a few episodes like Supergirl and the
Flash.
I think he did 3 and 3 if I'm not mistaken.
All right, no, I had the reason why I asked because he said they don't have no real like comic book fans in there. So I know Kevin Smith is a huge comic book fan. So I was just curious to see if he had any kind of like touchings on any of the Marvel stuff.
A guy
If
like
y'all don't know,
that
Kevin
should be
Smith,
a guy like that should be in the head offices. People like that, but they don't have people like that.
Well,
No, I agree. And if for anybody who doesn't know who Kevin Smith is, if you ever seen Jane Silent Bob, it's Silent Bob. Just put it
yeah.
out
So, to his credit, he has said that he doesn't want to do anything Marvel or anything DC like movie related. Just because he feel, at least in his own words, he doesn't feel like he has the sort of vision that they are looking for, or that, and he feels like it would be too much for him to do because he versus the kind of movies that he does, he doesn't think that he could do those kind of movies that they do. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
those are straight from the horse's mouth. It's like he doesn't want to do it. So but he has said that he would like be in one of them, but that's about it.
What was the first thing you said?
Was that?
What was the first thing you said? That they don't have the right vision that he would want.
It's that he
Marvel.
doesn't have the vision that
Marvel.
that they would want. Right.
Exactly. Now the vision that he wants is what every comic book fan wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
the
know what I
vision
mean?
that we want. And that's not their vision. They don't care about us. They don't care about the fan. And that's their problem. And that's why they're going to continue to fail.
And that's definitely shows, especially when you hear about what's his name, Tiki Wahiti, whatever his fucking name is.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Tahiti
bro, that's-
Wahiti.
bro,
Taika
he
Waititi.
pissed me.
I heard about him.
He pissed me off when I read that shit. That shit made me so mad. And that's
But look at the
He's like-
Marvels. Look at the Marvels director. She didn't even finish the movie. She left pre-production.
oh yeah, it's because she didn't like where it was going.
It was her direction.
Yeah, it was her direction. She didn't even like where it was going.
Because she is a shit director. And the only reason why they hired her is because she's a black woman.
and like, so here's the other thing too. Is just like you hear these stories all the time about people being fired or people leaving Marvel because of quote unquote creative differences. Like originally, what we thought the MCU was that you had filmmakers who had their own vision of a movie. Like they would be making this movie, and it just so happens to have like Ant-Man, or it has this character in it, this character in it, right? So that's where we got stories like the first Ant-Man movie. It was a heist movie, but it had Ant-Man in it, right? So it's like that's what we started thinking. Like this is what the MCU does, is they find people who want to make this kind of movie, and then it's going to be this kind of movie, but it also has this superhero in it. Now, based on these quote unquote creative differences and stuff like that, sounds more like they hire people on, they tell them that they're going to make this movie, but then either midway through production or at some stage of production of the movie, either Marvel changes their mind, or that's not the real vision that they had for the movie. And the visions that they have for the movies are like this cookie cutter, hey, you're gonna color within these lines. These are lines you can color in. Don't go outside those lines. You start going outside those lines too much, then you're gonna get canned.
But wasn't that Takiki, whatever his name is? That was his vision too. He wasn't even a real comic book fan.
He said it. He said I'm not. He's a comic book fan. He said I'm a comic book fan, but I took the job because I just came off of a solid movie. I just had a child and I needed money, so I just
and at this point, Marvel is just throwing money at people, and they're saying, "Listen, we have this agenda. This is the agenda."
Yeah,
and part of the agenda is pushing the female forward, demasculating the man, and just making the stories colorful. And I don't know. It's happened to Thor. It happened to Loki. It happened to Iron Man. It happened to Hawkeye. It's going to keep happening. That's a direct quote from Kevin Feige too. We're gonna turn the MCU more female.
See, this is where I would argue that point, because it hasn't just been the MCU, because they've done this in the comics. This is things that are set by precedent by the comics as well. So it's not something that is just happening in the movies, but it is something that's happening across not the medium, but across comic book, nerddom in general.
Yeah, I said this though. This has been happening for a little bit now. This new agenda, and a lot of the comic books has been failing. Like they just came out with a Green Lantern comic book where Green Lantern is gay. That failed. A lot of comic sales are at its lowest.
Yeah, they had that for a long time though. They had the original Green Lantern. They made him gay. Then they came out with two. Well, I won't say two because it's been few female Green Lanterns, but they don't really touch on them. But they really they try to push Jessica Cruz.
And then it's from Far Sector. I just can't remember what her name is.
Something Sojourner, something like that. I don't remember. I know Sojourner or something. But yeah, no, it's been happening for a while. So what they've been trying to do is they really want to capture the female audience, which I understand. But you just don't expect that to happen.
I don't think they're trying to have the audience to legit agenda to de-escalate, I think, men and boys. Right now, as a comic book fan, as a boy, you really don't have much to look up to besides Miles Morales.
I can't disagree on that one.
Here's an article from June 26, 2018. MCU soon have more female heroes than male heroes. Why would you do that? What is the reasoning behind that?
That's the exact reason. They want to capture the female audience. They like you said, it's also butts and seats, but it's also they want to capture females.
Has that happened?
Not really. And you know what's funny? I mean, I don't know. Well, Mike, I know you watched it. It really shows, especially in like in TV shows too, like Big Bang Theory. Bunch of nerds who are scientists. One gets married to a bimbo. One gets married to another like two others get married to scientists, right? Even in there, they even try to pitch that, oh, we want women to watch. We not watch. We want women to get into comic books as well. Which you saw. First thing that Penny said was, "Oh, I don't know about this Thor guy, but he's pretty hot." So what's that's going to do? It's going to lead them to trying to read comics. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push the female gender into watching or reading comics and watching the movies. They don't really care for that. It's not what they really want to watch.
It's not what
Most
girls
females
like.
Yeah, most females don't want to watch that. They don't really most females don't care for action movies.
And so, like, I would argue that, like, it all depends. It all depends on the person, right? Each person's gonna have their own preferences and stuff.
Exactly.
Trying to push something onto a whole gender is just ridiculous. It'd be like trying to push.
It's like trying to push guys into rom-coms.
Like, right, guys.
As a guy, you can watch a rom-com because there'll be. It's funny sometimes, like Hitch. Hitch could be is a rom-com, but that's like both could watch it. You know what I'm saying? But a rom-com, Hitch is Hitch. They're not. There's no agenda in Hitch.
No, there's really no. All right, so
it's just a good story.
An even better one. That's like trying to get a guy to watch 50 Shades of Grey. No, it's not that one. I'm using The Notebook. It's like trying to get a guy to watch The Notebook.
Shit, I love The Notebook.
Or Brokeback Mountain.
A little bit of a better.
Whoa.
Exactly. I never watched it. I just know Heath Ledger's in there. That's all I know. I don't know anything else about the movie. And I know he's gay.
Anne Hathaway, you see your boobs.
Oh, see, I don't even know that. I never watched it. I even know Anne Hathaway was in a movie. I just know Brokeback Mountain. I just know Heath Ledger. That's it.
Great boobs. Great boobs.
Oh my god. That just throws me back to the whole conversation we had about we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna talk about Rhea Ripley. We're not gonna talk about the Star Wars thing.
Money's always on top.
Yes. And then here we go.
Anyways, what was I? Oh, so the other comparison I was gonna make was just like, now soap operas aren't 100% made for women, but I would argue that their audience is mainly consists of women, right? That would be like trying to like push men into watching soap operas, right? It'd be like, oh, like we're gonna put this person in here. So basically, it'd be like turning soap opera into, like, I don't know.
Damn, what's that one popular soap opera? I'm sorry, I gotta look it up now.
General Hospital.
Yes, here we go. I just know because anytime I go to the fucking doctor, that shit is on. I'm like, bro, watch this shit on TV. I don't want to see this.
Imagine a soap opera, right? They start flipping it and they start talking about football stats in it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, then men are gonna watch.
No one's gonna watch it. Men aren't gonna watch it because men aren't into that, and girls aren't gonna watch it either. The funny thing about the Marvels is the Marvels absolutely flopped, right? 67% of the people who watched it were white men. The lowest number who watched it was females. Females didn't even go out to see it, and it was an all-girl cast. So what is their agenda? They know that it's not working, but they're continuously doing it with their agenda. Why?
They're trying to push it as hard as they can now, because they also know they made their bed, so they're trying to fix it. It's so bad that even who you call it don't want to be Captain Marvel anymore. I mean, she thinks she doesn't. She hasn't wanted to be Captain Marvel for a long time though.
Yeah, because no one liked her in it. Because it sucked.
It was like, I think it was after the first one. She was just like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah, because she had a bad reaction to it because no one liked it. It was a terrible movie, and that was an all-female cast where they literally made Samuel Jackson into a shell of a man. Remember, was it Civil War, that awesome scene with Nick Fury with the car?
Yeah.
And he's like shooting, I think it was the Winter Soldier or whatever. That was one of the best scenes in MCU history. That's not Nick Fury anymore. Nick Fury now is chasing cats.
The cat that took his eyeball.
No, but that's a big part of the movie, the cats. It's the dumbest movie ever.
Oh man, I want to watch it just
The only
just
thing I
so I
know
can
is
see
that
what it's about.
they have a Bollywood scene in it. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And don't get me started on the Madam Web stuff.
Oh no, we're not gonna
Oh.
talk about that.
We're
definitely
not talking about that, dude. We saw that.
We saw the
reacted to
trailer.
that
This
trailer.
is what I
Horrible.
mean.
Him and
This
I
is
were
what
just
I
like-
mean. This is what
First
I
of
mean.
all,
Who wants
why
to
do
see
you
three chicks?
fuck
As
that?
fu-
Why? Who wants to watch fucking Madam Web? If you're a Spider-Man fan, actually, you don't have to. If you're a comic book fan and you know who Madam Web is, fuck you want to see Madam Web for?
But I have
She literally
no
has
idea
nothing.
what it's about. I was
shit,
like,
all
what
right.
can
Like
what,
the only
what
thing
can
that
they?
she should be playing any part in is Spider-Verse, and it's because she's the one who oversees, the Web of Destiny. That's it.
That's all she does. She
Okay.
has nothing to do with anything else with Spider-Man.
When I heard
Literally
there was
nothing.
this Madam Web movie coming out, I was like, why?
That's what I said. Literally, did
Why?
I not just say the
This
same
is-
thing?
No, yeah, this was like literally this. I mean, even before the trailer came out, when they announced that they were making this movie, I was like, they might as well stop right now. Why are they? Making
Oh,
this?
but
And
we
when
know
that
why
fucking
now.
trailer popped up, I was like,
We know why now. It's to
This-
phase Spider-Man out and add three girl Spider-Mans now. It's ridiculous. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what that movie is. 3 girl Spider-Mans fighting a guy who's the bad Spider-Man who isn't really Spider-Man.
Yeah, it literally has nothing to do with
It has
Spider-Man.
nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Bro, it was horrible. Like the movie ideas that they've been coming out with, except for one. There was only one that I really wanted to see, and I'm mad that they canceled the whole thing, which was Batgirl. I actually wanted to see Batgirl. I think Batgirl would have been a pretty dope movie. What did they cancel Batman out? Fuck no, you can't cancel Batman. Batman is literally the face of DC. If you cancel Batman out, you really can't replace nobody with Batman outside of Nightwing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You
They-
really
well,
can't.
and like,
they
let's
will
be honest,
destroy
dude,
your
they have
character.
tried. They have tried to do that with Batman. Like
They will
they did it with
destroy
Green Arrow by making that into a Batman show, and then they tried with freaking Batwoman, and Batwoman failed hard. We got what 2-3 seasons of Batwoman, and it was trash.
It was so bad, and I still watched it because it was a black chick, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it. No, why not? It was so bad that the original Batwoman was on the show left because she got tired of the slander, and she's gay, mind you, and she's portraying She's portraying a gay character, and she was like, no, I can't take it anymore. I'm not doing this. I'm
What's
not
with
gonna
these
do
gay characters? We're not with that, man. Let's just
She's
go right
gay,
back
and she
to.
didn't want to play as a gay character.
Let's
because
go right
she
back
did a big job.
to normal scheduled TV programming because I'm sick of it. But they are not learning their lesson. They're continuing to pull out this crap and just continue to pander. They will not stop until they ruin your favorite characters. They're literally about to kill the Marvel and Star Wars franchise right now because of this. There should be no characters left.
I just hope I don't care what nobody says. I just want to see Miles Morales as a live action now. At this point, I know I'm getting it soon. So, Tom Holland said he's kind of done being Spider-Man unless they pay him more, which I understand. You know, you deserve it. You're a great Spider-Man. I don't care. I'm argue with your mama, not me. He's still he's the best Spider-Man. He's the best Peter Parker.
Who?
but-
Tom Holland?
Yeah, Tom Holland's better. Who's better than Tom Holland?
Nah.
You gonna say Tobey Maguire? Please don't say Tobey Maguire because I will argue with you. I would not. I did this already, and I'll
We've
do
already
it
had
again.
this argument.
Toby and Andrew are better.
Andrew was
Tom
Andrew was
Holland.
horrible.
Tom Holland didn't get the chance to really play Spider-Man because I don't know what Spider-Man this is. This is some Marvel This is Marvel Disney Spider-Man.
He's
They
better than
skip
Tom.
past.
He's better.
They skip past so many things that
All right,
this
what
ain't Spider-Man.
hasn't he done that? So what makes those two better than him? I want to hear this. I'm sorry. Now we're really
I
really
mean,
going
we
on
grew
topic.
up on
I'm
that.
not.
We
not
grew up on
you're-
that first one. We grew
Yeah,
up on that first
and
one.
that's the point that
And
I'm
Toby-
making.
And Toby
Tobey
was not that
Maguire
bad.
was so
Toby was not
bad
that
at-
bad. Toby
Toby
was
was
not that
so
bad.
bad. The only great
He
thing
was
you
a
remember.
nerd in that.
There's only 2 good scenes out of that, and his best scene was him pulling the train together. That's one, and him dancing when he was
No.
Venom.
That was terrible.
Get out.
Exactly.
Get out.
Those are his
Get your
best
ass out.
scenes. Those are his
Terrible.
best scenes.
That
His
is,
best
that is
scenes.
a lie. That
Best
movie
scenes.
was so
The
legendary.
only reason why people like Tobey Maguire,
it partly shaped our futures. that movie.
the reason why people like Tobey Maguire is because he was the first Spider-Man, and it was horrible. I put up with it because I even said this. I said the only reason why you like him is because he's the first. After that, there's nothing great about Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man.
Tom Holland wasn't that good. He didn't get the chance.
Who?
Tom Holland.
There's only one time you could.
That's
There's
not
only one
Spider-Man.
movie.
That's Disney Spider-Man.
There's
Maybe
only two movies.
maybe in this one, maybe in the next one because he has the actual suit now, which I actually like that suit. That suit looks good.
Oh no, the suit was fire.
That suit looks fire.
But
hopefully now he has a chance to actually be Spider-Man because that's not Spider-Man.
Hold up, T. I'm going to correct you on something really quick, bro. Spider-Man is not owned by Disney. Spider-Man is owned by Sony.
Sony, yes, you're right.
Owned by Sony. Owned by Sony. Right. So none of these Spider-Man movies have been Disney anything.
No.
It's all Sony.
No.
Yeah.
No, Disney. I believe Disney has most of the creative control, but Sony gets 75% of it. It's Disney's movie. So Spider-Man is being rented out by Disney. So Sony has nothing to do with like Endgame and all the stuff that he was in.
The Tom Holland. Yeah, no, I agree.
That's all Disney got Tom Holland.
You're not going to tell me that he like who in his movies in
Spider-Man in London
movies? Huh?
Spider-Man shouldn't be in London.
They had a class field trip.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in London.
And then he was dragged to London. All right, so then here's the thing: he was dragged to London. He wasn't even supposed to be in London in general. It was just supposed to be a class field trip, and he wasn't going to go because he felt like he should have stayed in Queens or in New York, where he was needed.
Yep,
he was dragged to London. Yeah, he was dragged to London by Nick Fury. Well, the Skrull. But he was dragged by Nick Fury to help the next quote unquote Iron Man, which was Mysterio.
That's not true.
Yeah,
he actually wanted to. No, he wanted to get away from. He wanted to get away from New York.
From New York,
he wanted a break. He thought this was going to be a vacation.
Yes, and he wanted alone time with MJ.
Yeah, and then Nick Fury drags him into it when he got to Europe.
Yes. That whole movie should not have been in Europe. That should have been in Queens.
Oh, hold on. No, that's not true because he said it himself. He said, I was coming to get you regardless. Like when he was in New York, he's like, yeah, no, I was coming to get you. I was bringing you here regardless. You were going to be here because he was right under Tony Stark.
Well, even still, like that was Nick's intent. Peter's intent was not to stay in New York.
His intent was not to. Yeah, he wanted. Okay, so that part I got wrong. But regardless, Nick Fury was coming to get Spider-Man to come help Mysterio.
What I'm saying is that movie shouldn't have been there. That should have been in New York.
That's like saying the other part too.
It was a decent movie, but that ain't really Spider-Man. With the iron suit and all that, that ain't Spider-Man, man.
Spider-Man has an iron suit though.
Deep into the comics.
He still has it.
Deep into the comics.
Every suit that
Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Let's get Spider-Man. There's so much to lead to. There's so many characters and villains that we have to lead to before we even get there.
All right. So now you said that. So now every suit that Tom Holland had is comic related. You can't tell me not one of his suits was comic related.
I know that.
Sam Raimi's suit is not real.
That doesn't come until way later.
And that's not true. His first suit was actually his original first suit. In comic books with the wings. Actually, no, that wasn't his. No, he didn't have that. Not until the
it didn't look like that
movie.
The Iron Spider and all that stuff.
No. I lied. No, not that. No, he didn't have the Iron. No, he didn't have the Iron Spider suit in the first movie. Well, not in the first. No, not in the first movie. His first movie was Civil War. His original suit.
I'm saying that the Tom Holland Iron Man thing is way too early.
I don't disagree on that.
He just became Spider-Man.
That's not true. He was Spider-Man before that. It's just nobody knew who he was. They just introduced him into the movie in Civil War. He was Spider-Man before he was in Civil War. They just don't know who he was, except for Tony.
But I'm saying, as the viewer, we didn't get to see that.
Of course, we didn't get to see that. We see that after.
That's what I mean.
We see that after Civil War.
We have a lot to get to. We have a lot of people to see before we even get to the Iron Man, Spider-Man stuff.
No, I don't disagree, but of course they rushed the suit, but it's also because they had Tony Stark there. Tony Stark created his suit. suits in this moment, but created the suit.
Yeah.
So why
But
not
the,
give him the Iron Spider suit?
Marvel
Tony created
didn't
it.
have to rush this though.
No, I don't
He
disagree.
didn't. He didn't have to rush it.
No, I don't disagree on that, but it also made sense too because think about it, like for him, like first of all, it was definitely rushed because he still don't have a complete understanding of his powers. He didn't understand his spider sense. He didn't know his spider sense. He found out his spider sense because of what was the first movie, Far From no, no, Homecoming was what the third one. Far From Home.
No, Homecoming was his first solo movie.
Yeah, his first one was when he really found out his powers. When he found out he has the spider sense, because he's remember he was on a bus and his hair started sticking up, which people
That's Infinity War.
notice. That's Infinity War. Okay, was it Infinity War?
That's Infinity War. Yeah, it is. So here's the narrative behind this, right? So the whole time that we've seen Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the MCU is technically all supposed to be an origin story. Now, it's not like the traditional origin story in the sense that like it's a one and done movie that we see from beginning to end. This is his origin. He's an established character to a degree, but he's not an established hero in his own right. Like, he doesn't still feel like a hero. He feels like he's
trying to
stepping
learn
into somebody else's shoes. That he's stepping into somebody else's shoes, and then he's supposed to be the next Iron Man, and he's supposed to be the next this, supposed to be the next that. He's not his own character in these movies. It's not until No Way Home that he finally steps into his own shoes, into his own like right as Spider-Man, and he becomes Spider-Man, like true, through and through, truly. Because in the comics, nobody knows who Spider-Man is until Civil War. Like nobody in the community know Peter Parker other than like maybe the Fantastic Four. They don't know Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and his identity is secret to basically everybody. He's always wearing the mask.
Yeah, until Civil War, like you said.
So like that's this in that sense that was more or less the reason why they, like, I don't want to say course corrected, but they made it to where, in the third movie everybody forgets who Spider-Man is, so that going forward nobody will know who Spider-Man is, so that he can maintain his anonymity, just like in the comic.
Which goes back to the MCU being lazy with the whole multiverse stuff, because that's just bad writing.
Oh no, they forced it.
It's like, oh, multiverse, we get to start over. Like that's lazy. It's kind of corny, and this is not the right direction. I would have loved to see like how they did the Batman. I would love to see something like that with Spider-Man, Tom Holland, like a year 2 kind of thing. Him getting to know, because Spider-Man, his story is so good and it is so dark. You don't need Iron Man to come in with this iron. We don't need that. Let's see like a year 2 Spider-Man. Spider-Man is dark.
Spider-Man's story is that shit is hellish. Like that man,
hellish,
that boy goes through so much trauma, and that's like he's
crazy.
Literally like he's it helps relate to like kids.
Bro, let's get the character development. There's so much good story in this. Why are we skipping all the way to Iron Suit with the
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually kind of happy they skipped a lot of it too, because I got tired of seeing Uncle Ben die, bro. That shit is it's not even depressing anymore.
Die. We don't have to see Uncle Ben. This is why I'm saying like maybe a year 2.
Yeah, but it's not even depressing anymore. This shit is funny.
This is after.
Well, that is what you're saying, T. Though what you're saying is more or less kind of what they ended up doing in the MCU. Because it wasn't necessarily a year 2 for him. We don't know his timeline at this point, but it's kind of showing us that like he has been Spider-Man for a little while. He has been Spider-Man for a little while. We don't know how he got his powers. We don't know if he even had an Uncle Ben, but we do see his surrogate die. That sort of taught him the lesson of with great power comes great responsibility.
And
but again, it was a trilogy in order to get to that point.
And I believe it actually followed the comic book too, because if I'm correct, in one comic, Green Goblin does kill Aunt May. I gotta look it up, but I'm about 70% positive that was one comic book thing. He kills Aunt May because he finds
But
out who Spider-Man was.
there wasn't as much character development for Spider-Man in there. Like, you don't really get to know who he is because it was such a playful, cheery kind of movie.
Yeah, but there was no
you
real.
could really dive deep with Spider-Man. You could really get in there and not mention Uncle Ben. You could mention other characters, other crucial characters that's big in the Spider-Man story that can lead you to better places than what this Spider-Man led to. It led to, everyone forgot Men in Black 4. Look in here, now I don't remember anything. There's so much better direction you could have went into where the character development was a lot better, and you didn't need to cheat and just use Iron Man just because it's Iron Man.
All right, now
I can agree with you there. However, because they didn't have Spider-Man, this is like this is like behind baseball type of thing. Because they didn't have, any sort of rights to Spider-Man, or they didn't have any working relationship with Sony in order to do anything with Spider-Man. That's why they already had, like, the MCU was already established at this point. So, and then when they finally got the chance to put Spider-Man in, now they're playing with, okay, now we have to, kind of drop him into this lived-in world and have him have something to do with any of these characters so that he has a bigger part in, Infinity War and Endgame.
I get
not
it.
if it's just Infinity War Endgame. Now it also goes. It's really Civil War, and then what? Not best movie to put Spider-Man in Civil War.
Listen, I get it, but you know how many Avenger comic books there are with Spider-Man?
Yeah, because he's an Avenger.
That they could have went with, and not just, let's just give him a Iron Man suit or whatever. They could have done. We have over 60 years of comics, and they went with this direction. That's all I'm saying.
I think the suit was fire. I'm
not saying the suit wasn't bad. I'm not saying the suit wasn't bad, but this isn't like the real Spider-Man that I wanted to see. I don't want to waste a Spider-Man on this. When you have such good stories out there, especially with Spider-Man, don't waste that. Let's see a movie out of that.
So, you guys were talking about Spider-Man being a little bit darker. So, I would say that Amazing Spider-Man 10 times darker than like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And the Marvel, the MCU Spider-Man.
All right, no, hold on. Let's clarify this the right way. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the darkest one. That's because
the first one was dark too.
Yeah.
It was
even
a lot
like
more
the lighting.
visible.
The lighting was darker.
It was a little grittier. I mean, he spends most of the time in the sewer. And that
I agree.
I disagree.
Spends more time like fighting a Spider-Man at night in that movie than even.
I agree.
So,
no, I agree, but I agree to an extent. Now, I think the second one was more darker because it's more of him being upset that he lost Gwen Stacy.
So my
argument is snapped in the first one.
My argument's not which one's darker. Okay, so this is my point that I'm trying to make. So we could collectively say that the Amazing Spider-Man movies in general were darker than either the previous Spider-Man movies or the following Spider-Man movies. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
That being
100%.
Which one's dark? Which one's dark? Which one?
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire 2 was dark. If you want to go that route, where he was fighting a lot, the majority of times in the dark. Same thing with 3. He was fighting in the dark a lot too. And then he was also dark because that's when he became Venom. Well,
he was dark
Spider-Man.
in 3, yes, but I think that was
very cheerful and playful. That was very playful.
Yeah, I was going to say that wasn't
dark. Gwen Stacy got her neck
tone.
snapped in the first.
Wait, hold on, wait. Which one was the one when he fought Harry? That was the third one, right?
That was. You're talking about
that was the third one.
Second one. Amazing Spider-Man.
No. I'm talking about the original. I think because that one was the
3.
Tobey Maguire had 2 dark movies. The second one was dark.
Yeah, but again, as dark as they weren't as gritty or dark as anything in the Amazing Spider-Man series of movies. So
think
that being said, when we went dark with Spider-Man, the fans said no, not today. There was a lot of people who were upset with those movies and said that, like, this is not my Spider-Man. This is not my Spider-Man.
They weren't just they just weren't great movies.
I would argue that they weren't very great movies.
I don't think people didn't like it because Gwen Stacy's neck snapped. I think if anything, people loved that.
I thought that shit was.
People loved that. Yeah, people loved that. I just think it wasn't as good movies, especially with like the Rhino at the end. But people like Jamie Foxx as Electro. They liked a lot of things about it.
No, I from a lot of the people I heard, they all thought that was like one of the worst parts of the movie.
I hear people loved Jamie.
I liked it, especially because I like the sound with everything. So
yeah, and even like the new characters in the new Spider-Man, they were excited to see Sandman come back and Croc, not Croc.
No, Kirk Connors.
Reptile.
You were right, Kirk Connors.
Yeah, Reptile. Not Killer Croc. Reptile. Yeah, they were excited.
Lizard.
Lizard. They were excited to see these guys from the Amazing Spider-Man come back.
Sandman's not from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Sandman's from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm thinking Lizard.
It's Electro though, but Electro coming back not as like alien.
It was Electro, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and I'm missing one.
Lizard.
Sandman, Lizard, Electro,
and Green Goblin.
Doc Ock,
that was it.
Goblin.
Yeah.
And then
honestly,
Venom.
And a piece of Venom that. No, honestly, I don't even think those. I didn't even want to see them. Honestly, I think that Vulture was better than any of the villains that we've seen so far, except for Doc Ock, because Doc Ock's a classic. And even
Vulture,
Tom Holland. What's the second Tom Holland? Mysterio, bro. It was dope to see Mysterio. Even though, like Mysterio and Vulture to me were better villains than any Spider-Man movie that I've seen so far.
Great actors.
Yeah,
and Michael Keaton's a god. Yeah,
and I do think they did well with the writing with those characters too.
Agreed. Compared to like the other Spider-Man movies, so there's no way you can tell me the other Spider-Mans are better. The writing was terrible. The last one.
I enjoy watching Amazing Spider-Man. I enjoy watching that.
I'm not saying I don't enjoy any of these movies either. I've already told Bankai, but I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of the Tobey Spider-Mans. Even though 3 I don't like I still like 1 and 2. 1 and 2, or I mean 2.
Classics.
Spider-Man 2, I would argue is like one of the best comic book movies ever.
Classics.
Yeah, and why is it a classic? Because
they're good movies.
No, it's because he was the first one. That's why. He was the first one. There's
you could be the first one. You could be the first one and it'd be bad. Look at Daredevil.
No, that don't count. That don't count. We don't.
That's a
multiverse. That's a multiverse. No, that doesn't count. No, we're not counting.
Just because it's the first, don't mean nothing.
First of all, there's no other Daredevil movie that came out. So yeah, that doesn't count.
And until to be honest, there still hasn't been another Daredevil movie.
Exactly. So you're gonna call that a classic?
It's been a show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Not another movie. Yeah, it is a great show.
Like I'm telling you, the only reason why people like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is because he's the first Spider-Man. And I'm telling you, that's the exact. Now, if we'd have got somebody else who played Spider-Man before he did, y'all would have said the exact same thing. We liked it. It was a classic. Why? It's because he's the first. There's only one person you can't say that about.
I'm gonna disagree.
There's only one person you can't say that about, and that's Michael Keaton. I'm not arguing that point. Michael Keaton's the only person you can't say that about. Only person.
My man Toby did a good job as Spider-Man. He was a nerd. He was quirky. He wasn't. He was epic when he needed to be. He was great.
He was only epic one time, and it was
when he was pulling the trains together. What about in a burning building when he was fighting with Green Goblin? Green Goblin.
Right. So he could save that little girl.
Yeah, brother. Yo, you need to go back.
Oh
you need to go back.
Bro, that was terrible.
You need to go back.
I can give you way better scenes from Tom Holland being Spider-Man.
No, he's not. Spider-Man.
No, he's not. Not even close.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. So I feel like each Spider-Man represents either a different era of Spider-Man or has, I mean, each one has their own thing that makes them each great. So obviously with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, yes, he was the first like live action movie Spider-Man that we saw, but he did a really good job of showing us like what a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man would be doing, right? He's saving people, he's doing whatever it takes to save people. Then we get Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who is the like tormented Spider-Man, the one who like he doesn't know what the right thing to do is. He doesn't know, you know, whether he should stay with Gwen Stacy because like he's afraid he'll get her hurt, just like, you know, it got his or her father, you know, killed. But he still loves her. He still wants to be with her. He's the tormented Spider-Man. Then we get Tom Holland Spider-Man, who is the Spider-Man who is working on a team, and it's not, you know,
he's not used to working on a team. Yes,
right. He's not used to working on a team, but it's him working with the Avengers. It's him part of a team, as well as like the very young Spider-Man, like high school teenage Spider-Man, like him learning what his powers are, and then like also learning like the value of like with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
But who
Each one has their own like their own thing. Say what?
Yeah. Who did that first stage the best? Tobey. Tobey really saw the struggles in him learning his powers. You saw the struggle when the wrestling guy screwed him out of money. He was like, I'm not stopping you. Seeing Uncle Ben die, we've seen it hundreds of times, but to really see Tobey go through that, I really felt like he did that better than anyone.
Hell no. I'd rather give that to Andrew. Andrew's was better. Andrew's dark.
As far as like learning his powers, I would say Andrew learning his powers was definitely cool. It's like you see him
he's
developing his own technology. He's like you see him developing his own technology. You see him like listening in, like talking, like how to use science in order to swing better. Like you know, seeing what works with his suit, what's not going to work with his suit. Yeah. You know how it is, you know, that sort of thing. And like in that sense, then yeah, like him becoming Spider-Man was definitely like probably the coolest.
Yeah, because Tobey's was terrible. The only real struggle he had with his powers is when he was all in his feelings, and he couldn't stick to the fucking wall, bro. That shit was stupid. I mean, I know it happened, but it was stupid. And then I am, or you don't understand. I don't like Tobey Maguire. I thought Tobey Maguire's movies were so bad. I just put up with it because he's the original Spider-Man. Like his movies were terrible.
I would argue in this day and age, those movies aren't as, I guess, cutting edge or like
it didn't even have to
what
be
you
cutting
expect
edge
out of a movie nowadays. But like back then, for what we had back then, like that was definitely like.
Oh, don't do that.
It has its own charm, right? It has its own charm because like superhero movies were still new to us at that point. You know, the only thing we had gotten before that was Blade and I think X-Men. There weren't very many superhero movies.
Hold on.
We had a bunch of Batman.
Whoa.
We had Christopher Reeves.
Really, what I meant was Marvel.
Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, we had Phantom Skull. That's Marvel, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. No, he's Marvel. Yeah, the Phantom. Yes, I assume the Phantom is Marvel. Yeah, yes. No, he's Dark Horse. Excuse me.
With the purple, right?
Yeah, with the purple. No, he is. He is Marvel. He's Marvel. I had to look it up. The Phantom is Marvel. Yeah, but we had Batman, we had the Phantom, we had the Rocketeer, we had Spawn, Superman.
Man, fuck the Rocketeer. Don't be bringing that in.
Whoa! Don't disrespect the Rocketeer, bro. Don't do that. Don't disrespect the Rocketeer.
The Phantom, by the way, is not a Marvel comic.
It's not Marvel. Okay, so it's Dark Horse.
It was never published by. No, it's not either.
The Phantom,
it's like its own independent thing. It was something that was made like long before, because he's technically considered a pulp fiction a pulp hero. So like that's before the times of like superheroes and stuff like that. It's usually just either just normal people in costume, or like just like the exploits of like detectives and shit like that. So like that's what.
Yeah, he got to be old because that suit looked old in the movie, and that movie's old.
I was gonna say,
No,
plus that
definitely
I was
is.
gonna say in that movie it takes place in like the 30s anyway. So,
Yeah, it does.
but
The guys.
you're right. I digress. I see at that point, like, yeah, we had other superhero movies, but in terms of like in the more modern age, like other than Batman and Superman, there weren't very many superhero movies, and these were the movies that sort of brought superhero movies to the forefront and really showed people like, hey, this is what these movies could be. You know, and there was like really, other than Blade, there wasn't very
And
many.
Ghost Rider.
I don't think there was any Marvel movies like
Ghost Rider.
at all.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider wasn't before that. Ghost Rider was
Ghost
not
Rider.
before that.
It wasn't before, but it was in between that time of Blade. Actually, no, I don't think it was.
Punisher,
No, I was gonna say Punisher. There was one Punisher movie,
the best one.
and that was before Blade. What? The one with Dolph Lundgren?
Oh no. There's a
No,
Punisher
I'm
movie?
talking. So from Blade, Blade was in the 90s, and then until 1999, there had been no comic book movies, no superhero movies, other than Batman and Superman. Other than those movies, there was no Marvel. There was just Blade. And then after 1999, when we got the first X-Men movie, and then 2001, when we got the first Spider-Man movie, then that's when we started getting. We got Fantastic Four. We got Blade, or not Blade. We got more Blade movies.
Oh,
we got
I
Ghost
disagree.
Rider.
Ha 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 ha! You're wrong. You're wrong. The
Hulk
Crow.
wasn't before either of those either,
The
bro.
Crow. The Crow was 1994. The original.
Is that
Crow.
Marvel? Is that
Oh,
Marvel?
you said Marvel. I take it back. Never mind. You
Yeah.
said comic book.
Oh,
You said
this
comic
is what
book.
I've been talking about.
You said comic
Is
book.
like,
at
and like
first.
even then, the Crow's not like a superhero.
Since when? I thought he was.
I mean, he's a superhuman. He is paranormal, but he's not like a superhero. He's not like out and out like I'm saving
Howard,
people. He-
Howard
Get
the Duck.
Get out. Get out of this, get out of this discussion right now. Get out of this discussion right now, dog. Come on now.
Punisher. The Punisher came
Nobody
out
likes
with a
Howard
movie
Duck.
in
Nobody likes Howard Duck.
91.
Yeah. And then I said between Blade. Blade
Fantastic
came out
Four,
what,
94.
that wasn't like a wide release movie. If anything, I don't even think that movie really came out. You know what I'm saying?
Captain America,
That movie
1990.
never hit theaters. Neither did that one. That was like a TV movie.
No, you got me looking because
Trust me, dude. I've done the research. I know that there's other than like Batman and Superman, there were no like big tentpole superhero
the Hulk.
movies. Hulk came out after all that.
no, it was one before that.
For sure, with
Talking about with Lou Ferrigno, that's a TV show,
yeah,
and that's not even the Hulk.
that was a Hulk. That's a classic.
Come on now.
That's a classic. That's like saying the Batman with Adam West is in Batman.
I'm not gonna. Well, I can't. I'm not gonna say much on that. To me, it's a classic because it's just Adam West. Yeah.
It's a classic. It's Batman. But guys, honestly, thank you for inviting me on today, man. Good time. Got to really nerd out.
Hey, we
today.
appreciate having you, man. We appreciate it.
I love nerding out, so thank you for letting me.
Yeah, like Maito said, definitely gonna have another one, and hopefully you will love to come back for our next discussion as well. So this was definitely fun.
Yeah, man.
It's
Let
nice
me know.
it's nice when other people want to come on too. So like we said, you want to nerd out with us? We would love to have you. No matter what we want to talk about,
All right, just let me know. I'm
as long
always
as it's
down.
comic book wise.
T, it was nice to meet you, man, and thanks for
Yes.
jumping in with us too. I really
Yes,
appreciate it.
100%.
I mean, next time. So, for those viewing, I mean, there's a philosophy out in the world where it's like you should never tear anything down if you're not able to build anything back up. So my idea for this episode, we were tearing down the MCU. I think the next episode, what we're going to try to see what we would have done, something creative, something we would have done to make the MCU better, either starting from Endgame and then moving forward, or from where it is now and going forward. So,
I love that.
but T, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we can get you on for the next one, if anything.
Yes, man. Definitely let me know and hit me up, man. I'm always down.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is going, but
Peace.
yeah. I appreciate everybody tuning in today, and class is out. I can't do the sound because he has the soundboard.
Ding 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 ding.
Nope.
All right,
What's
yeah,
up,
he took off. I
Am I on here?
was trying to can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. He took off, just to let you know. I just had the class in session. I was like, I don't got the soundboard, so I couldn't do it. So can you just hit that one time for the one time?
Okay. Well, hold on a second. Oh, before we head out, dude, you wanna watch these trailers really quick?
Which ones?
Watch
Oh yeah. Oh wait, did they release the other trailer that you and I were talking about?
Yeah.
They released. That's the only one I really want to see. The other ones we can use for next time.
All right. So hold on. Let me.
That one I really want to see. So I feel like I've already seen the trailer and watch it be the exact same trailer that I tried to show you. Like, nope, I'm not watching.
Well, no, because it's no, the one that you sent me was like, I guess it was just a teaser for the whole trilogy, but this one is specifically for part 1.
Okay.
And I haven't watched it yet, so.
Yeah, because you refused to watch the teaser that I was giving you.
I was watching the teaser when we didn't do the pod that day. So. But all right. So, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to react to a trailer. This is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, the animated movie in the Tomorrowverse. So let's go ahead and get to it.
Most of you are aware that you live in a reality parallel to many versions of your universe. I've gathered you all to save your worlds.
That does not look good. You got that right. The threat is real. I was on one of the Earths that was swallowed by this wave.
Well, who we have here?
I come from a parallel Earth. We look down on supervillains.
Welcome our newly formed team of heroes.
The Justice League.
Drained of power from them.
Thank you, Justice League. Something's about to happen. Something major.
I am Harbinger.
This is the thing.
Yeah, I figured.
You each possess the skills, strength, and speed to save your universe.
Great Scott.
What's happening?
The universe, it's all vanishing.
Look!
This is it. I won't let you go.
Is it as bad as it looks?
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When?
Yeah, that's what I'm
is
doing.
it
When?
What? Hey, that looks pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Say what?
Where is she? I'm sorry. It was. That's something when you said that's what it made me think of. But yeah, no, that one looked pretty dope. If I'm correct, I think I just seen Robin too. I don't know if it was just me, and he was standing next to Batman. Yeah, we definitely have to go back and look at that later. But yeah, no, bro, you don't understand. I love the art for the Tomorrowverse. The Tomorrowverse looks so dope to me. I like who they have playing Batman as well. So it's not like I don't want to say like they didn't skip a beat, but they did a great casting for Batman. Outside of that, like I said, I really like this Tomorrowverse. Superman, I think it was Man of Tomorrow was the name of that one, that new movie.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't like Superman. We always had this conversation. I don't like Superman. That was a really good movie. That was a damn good movie. I'll go back. I'll go back and watch that. I can watch that right now. That's how good it was. The
January
Flash one was
9th.
good. It's coming out January 9th. Oh,
Yeah,
that's literally a month from now. Nice. I can't wait, bro. I'm excited to see that. We get to
yeah.
see Owlman, Ultraman, Superwoman again, Johnny Quick. I, I didn't even know. Well, no, that's different. Because the original Green Lantern, well, I don't. He's not called Green Lantern. I forgot what he's called. I think he's called Lantern or something like that.
Power Ring.
Yeah, Power Ring.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
the opposite of Hal Jordan anymore. It's actually the opposite of John Stewart, which actually looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that like Green Arrow is getting so much love again because I got tired of like outside of the Arrow or the show, which I liked for like 2 seasons and I thought it got terrible because then you really get to see he's basically fucking Batman and he's not. I love the fact that he's getting his recognition again.
Right.
It's dope. I love it. So I can't wait for this movie. I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, same. I mean, it looks incredible, man. I mean, I agree with you. I love the art style that the Tomorrowverse has. Like, all of them are consistent. Now, the last ones, they were consistent as well.
Mhm.
But I don't know, something about this one, like, it just, I don't know. It really hits better for some reason.
To me, I think it's the story. The storytelling that they do is so much better compared to like the one we got for like the New 52. Now don't get me wrong. Some of the movie, like I don't want to say some, but like majority of those movies were really good. But these are, I feel like, are better. For instance, you don't see Batman as much in these compared to the others. And Batman, like you literally had to put Batman in every freaking movie. For the New 52 stuff.
He had probably what, like 4 movies to himself?
He had he had Son of Batman. He had Batman versus Robin. He had Batman Bad Blood. He had
Hush.
Which one?
Batman Hush.
He had another one. No. It was those 4.
Son of Batman, Batman versus Robin.
Because he didn't have
Bad
one. It was by
Blood,
himself.
and Batman Hush. Yeah, no, those were his 4 movies, like the Batman titled movies. But then he was also in all the Justice League movies. He was in the Justice League Dark movie, the 2 Justice League Dark movies.
Yep.
He was in like every single movie. He was even in He was in Death of Superman.
Yeah. In this one, he's really not in every movie. He's not in the Superman movie. He wasn't in the original Flash, like the one with the Flash, when he goes back in time. He was to the World War. He wasn't in that. The only ones he's been in is The Long Halloween, Part 2.
In the last one, I think, which was World, Justice League World.
Yeah, he was in the one with
and he might have made
the
a
one with
cameo,
Supergirl. He made a cameo in the one with Supergirl, but it was very, very short. He was at the beginning, and that was the only time you see him.
He made a cameo.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the only time you've seen Batman. Compared to what we had before. Like Batman was literally in every movie except for like 3.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like they're really bringing
Yeah,
out characters. Oh, he wasn't in the one with Jon Stewart in the one with Jon Stewart. Beware My Power.
You said he was or wasn't?
No, he wasn't.
Oh. I
This
think I
dude
might
said
be disconnecting here. I think my internet's messed.
This dude said Superman was the word. Wait, what Superman movie are you talking about? Are you talking about? The
Yeah, hey,
Superman
Curtis, tell us which Superman movie you're talking about, bro.
Because if we're talking about Henry Cavill, I wasn't definitely talking about that. I was talking about the animated Superman movie that we got. Reign of Superman was. Oh, and he wasn't. But he was not in Reign of Superman.
No, that was more of like a straight up. That was like a straight up Superman movie,
which I thought was pretty good. So I don't know which movie he's talking about, because the new 52 Superman movie was actually the new 52 Superman movie. Oh, which one was it? It was Reign of Superman. There was another one before it. It was Doomsday, which Batman was in, and it was one before that that Superman had. I think he
talking about New 52.
Yeah, well, but that was what that universe was based off was New 52.
So Superman Doomsday was before the New 52 version of that.
No, there was a Superman Doomsday, and it was a Superman Doomsday one too. Remember, he fought Doomsday. All the Justice League was there to try to kind of control him, and then Superman. Yes, there we go. That's Superman. Thank you. Actually, I don't think he had a standalone. Well, except for no, I take that back. Superman didn't have a standalone movie. He was in the Justice League movies, Death of Superman and Reign of Superman. Well, I guess Reign of Superman would be just quote unquote standalone. But it was, to me, I thought it was dope because
it was a good ass movie. It was good.
Oh, I love that movie. Steel, Superboy, Cyborg Superman, Eradicator. Yeah, bro, that was dope. I love that movie. And I don't really care for Steel, but it was cool to see a Superboy. I always wanted to see a Superboy in a movie, or at least even in like like the Teen Titans or like a TV show or something. Man, we got one. I didn't really like
in Young Justice.
Titans, yeah, and in Young Justice, yeah. So it was nice to see Superboy that was in the movie, because we never got a Superboy in a movie.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think.
No, we haven't. Superboy was never in the movie.
I'm just trying to think. Oh no, there wasn't.
Not even.
Movie.
Yeah, not even in the animated not even in the animated until Young Justice and Reign of Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true.
So it was cool.
That is true.
Yeah. So we got Supergirl, we got Power Girl, but we never had Superboy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we got another movie too. We also got Super Sons. They made that movie too for the Tomorrowverse, which I thought was pretty dope. I just don't like his hair. I just don't like Damon's hair.
That's the Tomorrowverse though. I think that one's. Yes, that one's like standalone.
Nope, it's part of Tomorrowverse. Actually, no, it was because it had the same voices.
No, it doesn't. It's not even in the same animation style.
Oh,
it's called Rise of the Super Sons. Something.
Battle of Super Sons, the sixth installment of the Tomorrowverse. This one is pretty straightforward. It focuses on the sons of Batman and Superman. Yeah.
So it's saying so it says that it's part of the
Tomorrowverse.
I still feel like it's not.
So I was trying
because like the voice cast is different. So like Troy Baker is Batman.
Okay,
Travis
never mind.
Willingham is Superman.
All right, so yeah, no, it has nothing. All right, so it's that's weird because it shouldn't be part of the Tomorrowverse.
Well, right, unless it's one of the alternate Earths. That's the only thing I can think of.
Same.
That'd be the only thing. By the way, the person that commented, Curtis, is my brother. So like, he's being a contrarian.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see what Superman movie he's talking about. But if you're still watching, bro, let us know what it is. Otherwise, we might save it for the next time.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I got to use the bathroom, so I definitely have to take off here. I've been holding it for the last like 20 minutes.
All right, for sure, man. We'll get on out of here. Anybody who joined us live, thank you for watching live. If you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment, leave us a like, subscribe. Maybe try to catch us on the live. We try to do this on a semi-regular basis. We try to catch.
Yeah, we've been trying.
But sometimes they don't always sync up. But we'll try to get a little bit more on a regular basis. But you got anything to say before we head out of here, man?
There was. Now I don't remember, but it'll hit me after.
Well, again, thanks guys for joining us live. Thanks for watching, and leave us a like, comment, subscribe. We'll try to catch you next time. Okay. I've been Master D Maito. This is my co-host, my hope. Class dismissed.
In the wise words of my man Iron Man, love y'all 3000.